God, we're going live. We're going live.
Oh, no.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Oh, no. The whole
God.
stream's ruined.
We were just talking about how professional we are.
So professional.
Well, no going back. All right, welcome back, friends. Let's jump into our recap for tonight. On our last adventure, the Wayward Five settled into the Leviathrok Order. As Wiswick taught the magical secrets of ice cream, or ice cream making, to the delightful ardent hunter, Helena Talizan, leader of the Cobalt Hunters. While he did this, Timber and Curon observed the many trophies of the Order in their offering table, or tablet, in the back of the room, or the great hall of the Firmament Temple, where our heroes have gathered. But it wasn't long before they were confronted by Ankala, Katya's mentor, who had just come from showing Katya what had happened to her old companion, Farthio. Ankala asked Curon if he was truly a cleric of Eladra. Somewhat taken aback by this new name for his goddess, he attempted to correct her. She spoke of the oasis that our heroes have been searching for as a place of miraculous healing, and that there was a half-orc here in need of such miracles. Huron agreed to help. Thus, the rest of the Wayward Five joined a now-drunk Katya by Farthiel's sickbed. Through clever spells and calculated risks, Curon and Wiswick identified a carcery curse plaguing the poor lad. Kept his wounds from healing, kept him alive in constant pain, allowed the attacker to track him magically, and there seemed to be a fourth mystery effect that Wiswick could not determine. Wiswick manipulated the energy of the curse and his own magic to surgically change the script to remove the tracking aspect of the curse. Frustrated and hoping for more, Katya lashed out at the party verbally. Swiftly, Ankala dragged her aside to scold her, going so far as to say that she should not be a Cobalt Hunter if she's in this condition. Bjorn then attempted to dispel magic to remove the curse in its totality. He was only able to partially succeed, which allowed him to remove a part, and thankfully it was the necrosis aspect and not one of the other parts of the curse. And with the wounds freed of the corruption, Curon was able to heal them fully. The doomed man now breathed the air of a new life, and the ardent eye's vision was undone. The party left to attend the feast in the firmaments, where Curon and Timber were able to communicate and strike a deal with Helena Talizan, the Cobalt Hunter, or the Ardent Hunter, to enlist some of the Cobalt Hunters to track the Glass Titan for them while they go in search of the oasis, to save them some time and effort. In this process, they also discussed some of the tenets of the Leviathrok Order, and Curon received a charm from Helena, from her many charms around her neck, of a wolf's fang, as a symbol of Dumukna, their goddess. It was then that she showed him how to make an offering to Dumukna in the fashion of the Order. He offered up the pale heart of Nerisoth, beseeching Dumukna for aid in the wars to come. While they feasted up there in this manner, Katya and Wiswick and Ankala had stayed behind. Wiswick staying behind to keep an eye on his patient, so to speak, in the curse. Ankala stayed behind to question Katya's behavior and alcohol abuse. Reciting the tenets of the Order, she told her old pupil that the Order exists to care and see to the peace and joy of all places and their peoples. She left her to contemplate this. Katya put the bottle away and stood up shakily. Her and Wiswick ascended back to the firmaments together, but Katya heard something in the clouds above. She snuck off, but Wiswick stealthily followed. She had heard some sort of creature flying with the beating of wings up in the sky. She attempted to track the creature and to stop it with a watery sphere spell from her spear. But it crashed through it and landed at the steps of the firmament temple, a draconic creature but twisted and odd, red flames down its back to the tip of its tail, and a strange and green Newtonian-like fluid danced around it in the air. This was the monster coming for Farthiel, it seems, but now it must face the might of the Order and the Wayward Five. And that's where we left off. And...
Orca/Dorca then.
Oh, action! Oh,
action!
Oh.
So you, to set the scene as to where everyone is, Timber and Curon, you're inside. You have just heard a crash outside of clearly the sound of something large landing at the base of the steps, and you heard Katya screaming out to try to get all of your attention inside. Wiswick, you are currently trailing behind Katya, hidden in the shadows, out of sight. Katya, you were running up to the Order, and pretty much you're about 30 or 40 feet away from these things that have just landed and are looking right at you. The dragon has split off these two elemental-like creatures from the green fluid dancing around it, and it is now kind of like stepping closer towards you, Katya. What I need is for everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
God. Yay.
What?
That's my job.
Oh.
These dragons never seem to roll well on their initiative. All right, 20 to 25. Yeah.
Woofy woof woof.
15 to 20.
Oh no.
All right, well, it's not just the dragon that rolled poorly.
Oh no.
10 to 15.
14.
Same.
11.
11.
14.
I was not expecting to go
Means
first.
2 11s.
Yes.
All right. Still more than the dragon.
All right, good.
So, Katya and Wiswick, which one of you would like to go first? And the same question for Timber and Kaze.
My dexterity is a plus
You
5.
can go first.
Those
No.
are mine, except
You.
it's intelligence.
Yeah, you.
His initiative is based on his intelligence because of his class.
Oh, let's rock,
Um,
paper, scissors, flip.
I'm also just giving you the
No,
chance
just
to choose.
go.
All right. So Katya will go first. Wiswick, and then which one of you is going first again?
Sure you don't want it?
How's that?
Kaze, and then Huron, and then Greggy Boy. I mean, the elementals rolled. They got 15,
Oh, so they
and
beat
they're
us.
at the top of the initiative order. All right. So Katya, you are alone out there with these creatures. You're actually probably a little further back than that. I'll pull you back.
All right. Quick question. The watery sphere, it says 4 charges. Does that mean it used all 4 charges?
Yes.
Fuck. All right. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can
You're-
still use it as a club. So
Well, you're not up yet, so
what do you mean?
the elementals are before you because you rolled a 14. They rolled
Yeah,
a 15, not a
yeah.
15.
Damn it. Fine. Fine.
Katya, actually, can you move the sphere? Yeah, the sphere's still up.
30.
Is it?
Yeah, because it lasts a minute.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right.
So you
cool.
still have the sphere. You can
Just
read
like, ah!
while I'm doing their turn. Read that spell so you know
Okay.
what's going on with it. Okay. Let's see. What are these things gonna do to you? Katya.
Just told me to read the spell. I'm reading.
I know, but then I realized you're the only one for them to attack.
Yep.
Give me a wisdom saving throw. In fact, give me 2 wisdom saving throws.
First one was a 14, and the second one is an 11. What is with the 14s and 11s tonight?
Oh wow, you failed both.
Great.
Okay.
So what happens now?
You take 25 points of psychic damage.
Can I evade? That
Yes,
wasn't
you
a
can.
dex. No, it wasn't a dex. save,
No, it was wisdom save. No.
Yep. So 25. Of what kind of damage?
Psychic. And then you take another 20 points of psychic damage.
Oh, God.
Failed two.
Jesus.
Failed 2. As you see these creatures, they don't move closer to you. They're kind of writhing around like this fluid, this oily fluid that shimmers green. They have these eyes, though, set in what are clearly heads. The eyes are corporeal within the fluid, and they glow a bright green. And you see one, like they both like look at you, and you make eye contact with one of them, or eye, with just the eye, one eye. And you feel almost like it looks like everything echoes for a moment as you can feel this sharp pain in your mind as that creature has attempted to penetrate your mind and has done some damage doing it.
Watery sphere is concentration. Should I make a con saving throw?
Yes, you need to do 2 con saving throws. One is a DC 12 and the second one is a DC 10.
All right, the first one is a 19, and the second one is a 16. We're good.
Okay, so you're good there. The other creature is going to attempt to cast. You're gonna need to do another wisdom saving throw. These creatures have a lot of wisdom saving throws.
No. That's a 14, but another fucking 14.
You fail.
Yeah.
As you kind of maybe trying to like looking away from the other one, you find yourself drawn to the eyes of this one, and its eye is glowing differently. The first one, it was aggressive. This one, the eye is kind of thrumming, and you can hear a noise in your head that sounds like a ringing, and then you hear a disembodied voice in your head say, "Cower." As it casts suggestion on you, and you failed, and you are afraid of it now. But that is their turn. You're up.
Let me make another. Because
What are you making con save for?
my water sphere.
You don't have to. You didn't take damage on that.
I didn't take damage. Good, because that was a natural one. So.
Okay.
Alright.
Wiswick, you're on deck.
So sphere is still up. So, and it's I believe it's 10 foot.
Yeah, I believe so. It's 10 feet off the ground. It's 5 feet. Raise. It can encompass one creature.
All right. Well, I want to try and bring it down onto the dragon thing.
Okay.
It needs a strength saving throw. Is it huge or larger?
It is. It's actually not huge. It's,
Good. Is it large?
It's large. Yeah, it's large.
Okay. A large or smaller creature can choose to fail it.
It chooses.
It does it to fail. So it gets.
Yeah, if you did it with like a. It does a strength save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because a huge creature automatically succeeds. Okay,
Right.
I see. All right. Wow, that is not great, but let's see what its saving throw is. For strength.
My DC is not that great.
It's only a 10.
Good. 12. It is restrained.
Excellent. Nice. Your watery sphere is on this guy.
Yep.
He is restrained by it.
Yep.
That is your action.
Yep. I believe I have. Well, I don't know if you'd let me do this because I'm holding this and concentrating on it. If I could, like, drink my greater healing potion that I have. as
Oh
my
yeah,
bonus action.
yeah, because it's a
Alright,
bonus action to drink a potion. Yeah,
Just or like.
I understand. Yeah, you can.
Works.
You're fine. You're
All
fine.
right, cool. All right, I will do that for my bonus action and just be like, hit it quickly.
Kids, don't drink and concentrate.
Oh, that's actually. I actually did want to ask you. Should I be rolling things with disadvantage because I'm drunk?
Monks
Yes.
get drunk.
Is it
I guess
ability checks or
This
saving
monk
throws?
does. Although
It's
I
ability
am,
checks. It's just ability checks.
I am immune to poison. So I don't know.
Yes, but you're a drunken monk, so I
Okay.
don't think we're gonna say you're. I mean, mechanically, typically I would do that, but you're literally your
That's my
entire
whole
character's
MO.
personality is being a drunk.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, cool. I'm done.
All right, Wiswick, you're up. Kaze, you're on deck.
Wiswick is going to cast Banishment at a 5th level, allowing him to target 2 units. And he's going to target the 2 goopy slime monsters that are on the left and right, because they are not restrained, and they seem to be giving Katya a hard time.
Okay,
Yeah.
what kind of is that? A charisma roll or a wisdom roll?
Charisma DC 18.
DC 18. All right. First one gets a 15. Second one gets a 20 something. So second one succeeds. First one fails. So the first one, I'll say the one on the left is actually which one do you want to banish of the two? Left or right?
The one that's closer to me.
Okay, left one. All right, Scarlet, you're no longer frightened because the creature that was frightening you is
I'm
banished.
sorry. Who?
Katya.
Great. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so you are revealed now, though, Wiswick, so the creatures can see you, but you have banished that one. Anything else?
Yeah, I hide behind that rock that I was just hiding behind. I pop out and pop back in.
Baby.
You can't see it on stream because of the crop, but he's literally inside of 2 rocks that are leaning against each other.
That's great.
Okay. Kaze, you are up. It'll take you. You're coming out of that building right between where those torches are is where you'd be coming out of, and you'd be able to get right outside with your movement.
Okay, so this is the camera is like so, and Kazi's gonna come from the right side, sliding and casting Hexblade's curse and bringing out the bow at the same
Hell yeah.
time.
Real quick, do you want to go outside, or do you want to go into one of those side rooms where there's those arrow slits?
Oh. Yeah, I'll be a coward.
Yeah, I was just checking if you wanted to be a coward.
No, I'm gonna be a meat shield. I'll take some hits. I would normally love to just be a coward. That would be great, but
Okay.
I'll be a coward for the both of us.
thanks, Clayton. I appreciate that.
It's a little hard to see you, but you're right there, and you can go. You did a Hexblade's curse?
I did a thing. I'm gonna roll the hit.
Go for it.
It's a boom. It's not gonna hit. It's a 15.
Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, I didn't. Let me do
This is
that.
restrained.
Okay, 19. Does 19 hit? I'll count that as advantage.
Let me look real quick. 19 just hits.
Boom. I didn't do the. Actually, you know what? I should have said it was spell charge. Can I expel a charge?
Yeah, I'll allow you to expel a charge for your really
Alright,
cool crit.
Cool. No, it's not a crit. It's not a crit. It just
Hexblade's curse.
No, but it has to be a natural 19.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I'll take the crit if you want.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm telling you. But this, yeah.
This dragon's already got a lot of debuffs on him.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's 11 piercing damage and 15 necrotic. How does necrotic feel about this?
It's feeling pretty ineffective.
Okay.
Oh no.
Does it look like it's gaining health back?
It is not gaining health back,
All right, I'm gonna.
but it is not taking damage from the necrotic.
As long as it. Okay. Well, I'm still gonna expel the charges just for RP. I'm not gonna roll the dice, but.
Okay.
Anyway, second attack with advantage. Up, up, up. Oh, that's really bad. But I still have an 18. Does 18 just hit?
No, 18 does not hit.
All right. I'm too distracted by how the necrotic looked. Also, it wasn't 11 damage. It should have been 15 damage. I apologize for that. For the Hexblade's Curse.
No problem.
And that's my turn. Actually, yeah, that's everything. And maybe I'll just... Ooh, this is what I'll do. I'll, like, slide, take 2 shots, but keep sliding into the other side. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay out there and be a shield.
Okay. All right. Huron, you're up.
All right. Gonna use a free action, if I may, to go. Hunters and diviners of the Leviathrok Order. A creature attacks your monastery now. The same that cursed your friend
Parthiel.
Parthiel. Join us now in destroying this beast. Oh! And then he takes his shield, puts it on his right arm, takes his staff, and moves us 30 feet outside. And then he is going to... how far is the creature from me?
The creature is about 30 feet away from you.
Okay, cool. Kieran smashes his glaive down on the ground, and you see the crescent moon like shatter more, and dark pillowing smoke floods out in a 60-foot radius around me, obscuring the area, heavily obscuring the area for enemies, but lightly for allies and me. As I cast Fog of the Moon from my Crescent Heart staff.
Fog of the Moon.
Excellent use
And then-
of Fog of the Moon.
As I do, I send out a shake of energy through it, and can he please make a both of them make a con saving throw for me?
You got it. Okay.
This is a constipation check.
Nope. He got 23. The little jelly monster got a 16.
Okay, Jelly Monster fails and takes 8 radiant. He succeeds and takes 4 radiant.
Okay.
And then gonna cast Spirit Weapon at what level? At 4th level. Next to the little guy. I'm gonna go for an attack.
Go for it.
Oh, 13.
13 does not hit.
Okay. Well, Kieran feels like a fool, but stands there and hopes that he rallied the troops and ends his turn.
Excellent. Excellent. You would see the kobold. There does seem to be a whole bunch of kobold hunters that are following you because they don't need no persuasion rolls. They're meant to do this. It is the dragon's turn though next. Rawr. All right. So what the dragon is going to do is,
Are you gonna give
He's
us
gonna
a
monologue.
monologue?
He's gonna monologue.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't you understand what you are fighting? Nope. He is. I am. All right. He is going to use a feature, is a bonus action called Gift of the Dark Star, which is going to put out all lights within 120 feet of him, all magical and unmagical lights.
Oh, thank you.
It's helpful for you, for sure.
And I was gonna say, I already heavily obscured this in dim light, so.
Yes, but now it's heavily obscured for your allies as well.
Oh, yeah.
As the entire space becomes pitch black with night, and it seems slightly unnatural how dark it is as well from this ability, where everyone is pretty much going off of their dark vision now. If you don't have dark vision, then you are in... I think you all have dark vision, so it doesn't really matter too much. But the dragon seems to be empowered when it is in this darker context with no light. And it is going to use its action now for a... Well, let me actually... What is... Speed comes 0.
I think you can make a save again.
Creature's disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. It can still attack, but it has disadvantage if it attacks. Shannon, is it an action to do the saving throw, or is it at the end of its turn?
Any creature. I don't know. At the end of each of its turns, a restrained creature can repeat the saving throw.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So it is going to start beating its wings, essentially trying to break free of the water as best it can, but also to try to get these effects out of the water that it usually has. You can hear kind of like the muted muffling of this loud sound within the water that then starts to slowly... It kind of like splashes out of the water and the sphere reforms itself. I will say it does reduce the distance of this area of effect ability, which normally would be 90 feet to 45 feet. So I think the only person who it's not going to get is Wiswick, because he's far away enough. But yeah, everyone's going to need to do a Constitution saving throw. 12.
19.
19. Timber walked away, I think. So I will roll for him. Kieran, you succeeded. Katya, you failed.
Haha. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. It's more congratulating myself.
Kaze succeeded as well, but will take half damage. As you all feel this ear-piercing sound coming out from the water, kind of causing thunder damage all around you all. I need to have my other sheet up so I can start rolling damage. I love dice, but with these big monsters, it takes too long to roll for them.
Oh, you poor thing. So much damage. What will your players ever do?
All right, so for those of you who succeeded, you take 17 points of thunder damage. For those of you who failed, took 34 points of thunder damage. And for those of you who failed, you are also considered stunned.
No!
Until the start of the dragon's next turn.
I rolled a 15 on my con save.
Oh, so yeah, the watery sphere also ends then. Yeah. Okay, so it's no longer restrained. Kaze, you took 17 points of damage there.
Thank you.
I rolled for you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You rolled really well for me too.
I did roll really well for you too. Okay, it is the Cobalt Hunter's turn. So you would see running out a line of 4 hunters.
And they all have spears that deal 10d5
I do. I want that
to,
spear.
to monsters. Well, if you can
There's
find a
spear-
5-sided dice, that would be awesome.
All right, I'm gonna roll for all of them to attack.
They all summon orbs of water.
Yeah.
Just like
Katya. And there's just orbs of water floating around.
All right, so 2 of them miss, 2 of them hit as they throw their spears at him. So that is gonna be 2, 4, plus 20. Dealing 41 points of damage in total, because they have the same extra force damage as Katya. And you watch as the spears all pierce into the dragon's back. When it roars, the roar has this void, echoey sound to it that spreads all throughout. As soon as the spears hit, you watch all the spears turn to water and then reappear in the Cobalt Hunter's hands.
So cool.
That is the Cobalt Hunter's turn. It is now the elemental goop guy's turn. The goop boy. The goop boys.
Goop boys afraid.
Goop boys are at it again. All right.
I was too busy gooping.
There's only one goop boy.
It is going to crawl its way up here.
He's gooping.
I forgot to do those Cobalt Hunters at disadvantage because it's dark out. But that's fine. This thing can't really see, so it's gonna have disadvantage as well on anything. Can only really attack Timber, and it can only use its touch abilities right now because it can't really see far enough to do other things. I guess it could do them. Timber, give me 2 wisdom saving throws.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them. I get 1, which is a 20, and then the other one, which is a 13.
All right, so
13.
1 success, 1 fail. You take half damage on the success. So luckily they did not roll too well on the one that you failed. You take 13 points of psychic damage. And then for the one that you succeeded, it is 20 points reduced down to 10 because you succeeded. Psychic damage.
Got it.
As you also see kind of this eye kind of thrust out towards your mind, and you feel piercing pain in your brain. But that's that thing's turn. Katya
Is stunned.
is stunned. Wiswick, you're up. Kaze, you're on deck.
It's the
Yeah.
end of that creature's turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Arc Bolts on the dragon.
Nice.
All 5 targeting it. And yeah, we're just gonna hurl them one at a time.
Go for it.
First one's a 19.
Just hits.
12 damage. Next one's a 14.
Does not hit.
Next one's a 16.
Does not hit.
Next one's a 20.
That hits.
11 damage. And the last one, nat 20
Ooh.
Nice. Nice.
for 10 damage. Wait, hold on. Do I get like max on 1 dice? Is that
Yeah,
how
you
that
get max
works?
on 1 dice, yeah.
Alright, can I just take the lowest one? Or should I just take the first
Just
one?
take the first one, yeah.
Alright, so that means they're d8s
16.
and I rolled a 2, so you add 6 to it. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I got I think I hit it with a 15 on the first one and a 16 on the last one.
No, it's 12, 11, and 16 points of damage that you dealt.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm not mistaken. All right. As you see, just like the Arc Gauntlet, except you guys don't really use the Arc Gauntlet for the Arc Bolt feature. You use it for the other feature.
Yeah, literally the one-shot kill.
Yeah, the one-shot kill button.
Yeah.
You watch as all these static bolts of lightning arc all around before some of them kind of crash against the skin harmlessly or zoom past as 3 of them strike true, one of them hitting it right in the chest as the static electricity charges across the body. Anything else, Wiswick?
Run back into my hidey hole.
Okay. All right. Kaze, you are up.
All right, Sean. I'm probably gonna take up attack of opportunity here, but I'm going to put the bow away and run and try to jump on top of the dragon.
Of course you are. That's your MR.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you are gonna take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's see if they hit.
On
They rolled a
step.
natural 1, so they do not hit you.
His
As
eyeball
you see,
is
the
too
creature
far out.
kind of, the creature kind of like writhes around you, and you can. The thing is, it's you have dark vision, but it's difficult to see here, as this creature kind of almost like comes into vision and out of it, almost like strobe light, as there's kind of like this unnatural darkness fighting this unnatural dim light from Curon, as it attempts to grab you. But you see, you're too slippery.
I like to
And you
try to
jump.
push the eye away, like. Ugh.
As you jump onto this thing's back.
And I'm gonna punch it
Okay.
with my slashy doos.
Okay. You do have a disadvantage because of the Dark Star effect.
Oh damn. Okay, well it doesn't matter because I rolled a 2 on the first one, but
Okay.
I was hoping that the melee attack would get rid of disadvantage. Oh, Sean, why do you do this to me? I rolled a natural 20, but I think I still hit with this one. It's a 22.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's
I'm going to deal not a lot of damage because I'm a monk. That is 17 damage.
Thank you for that reminder, Clayton. Give me a quick dexterity saving throw to make sure that you didn't land right in the fire that is flaming on the dragon's back, and that you're like on the wing and not in the fire.
Oh, I'm in the fire probably. It's a 16.
I'd say 16 is exactly what I set the DC at, so you
Okay.
just narrowly missed the fire, but it is, and you feel the heat of it, but there's like not light radiating off of it at all, which made it also kind of hard to avoid it a little bit. But you are in a precarious place.
Okay.
What was the damage on that punch?
Oh,
Like
17, 17 damage.
Okay, nice.
I'm going to use a key point to try to stun it. It's not going to work,
Ooh,
I
yeah.
know, but I'm going to do it anyway.
You gotta.
Also, does he have concentration on this fog of darkness thing?
No,
See,
he does not
okay.
actually.
Dang it. Alright. Well, while you do that, I'm going to attack another 2 times. Wait.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
What
I'm
what
using
type of
Fury-
save is it
Fury
again?
It's a Constitution saving throw. I have low DC. It should be 15. Yes.
Yeah, he rolled really, really high. He got
Okay.
a natural 18.
I'm using Fury Blows.
Go for it.
Sorry, I forgot to do disadvantage. Let me just roll one more time. This one's probably gonna miss with the 16. One more time, disadvantage. It's a 12, so I miss. Yes.
Okay.
Sean, even if I had pure vision on this thing, would I have advantage, or is it just like my vision
If
is
you had-
obscured?
Oh, if you had clear, it's because your vision's obscured. If you had clear vision, you would your attacks would be normal.
Okay, all right. Just gonna note that. That's my turn.
All right, Curon, you are up.
Not stunned anymore, right?
Uh,
Was it that thing that did it? I think the
Yes,
dragon was
but
the
its
one.
turn has not come up yet.
It
The
hasn't?
dragon's next. The dragon's
Oh.
next.
I'm paying attention.
Can I move so that I'm in the group of hunters? Oh, before I move, Kieran's gonna just look back into the hall and be like, Divinas, you're welcome to join us too, and then hustle on out to get behind the hunters, but so he's like a little closer. Yeah, and he's like, hello.
No, that was me getting afraid because I'm watching my parents' dog, and he just came up and poked me with this bone, and I forgot he was here. Get out of here, man.
You're not welcome here. You know here, man. Do you even go here?
No. Yeah, you can definitely get in the midst of these hunters. And what were you doing? Sorry, I got distracted by Cooper.
Going to channel divinity. Kieran, with his staff already overtaxed, sends out a 30-foot radius bubble of twilight.
Excellent.
That is now dim light. So we got my fog, we got this eye bullshit, and then we got my twilight sanctuary.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that your Twilight Sanctuary, because I like what you're insinuating, is like this bubble in the darkness that breaks through the darkness. So as long as that stays
dark,
up,
but it's my dark.
Yeah, exactly. So
My dark.
folks within what is it, 30 feet?
Yes, 30 feet.
Folks within 30 feet of Curon do not have disadvantage on their attacks anymore.
So I'm pretty sure it's Tim for
Yeah, it is Tim also.
Awesome. And then Spirit Glaive gonna go up to Spookman's and go for an attack. Come on, 23.
That'll hit.
And me. 15. Force damage.
Hell yeah.
And then I end my turn. Give myself 15 temp.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed. How do we have advantage or dis?
If you're within Curon's Twilight Sanctuary.
Twilight Sanctuary. That's what. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was wondering if it overrid it. Or...
Yeah, it is overriding it right now. There's kind of this combat of cloudiness and bubbles coming from Curon and the Dragon.
Well, that's the episode title right there.
Curon and the Dragon.
Okay. So the dragon, feeling you on its back, seeing a whole group of cobalt hunters coming after it, and seeing Katya out there, it is going to, let's see. All right, it is going to teleport with a phantasmal convergence.
What?
So essentially, it's going to teleport to up to. It's going to teleport so that it's flying above Huron and the hunters.
Would you call that a spell, Sean?
No.
Sean.
Well, I tried.
Sean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a reaction here.
Oh. Okay. What are you doing? What are you
blood
reacting?
You're gonna what?
Oh, it's been a while. Okay.
So I can
What
see
does? Perfect. You are no longer on its back. You fall to the ground.
Oh, no.
No, Timber would no, he wouldn't. He's too much meat in his belly right now.
He's too full.
He's too full.
And from this position, as it teleports, it almost appears that in the space it teleports to, there is kind of like spectral versions of the dragon over the dragon, over the dragon, over and over, creating kind of several maws that all come down onto Curon.
Why me?
Because you're the one with the bright, the fun bubble that it's. the fun bubble. All right, so it's going to get to make a few attacks on you. But you got a shield now, so.
Yeah, I imagine Kieran just turns and is like, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
How do I use this?"
All right, so there's going to be 4 attacks. 2 are going to be physical attacks, and then 2 are going to be mental attacks. So 2 physical attacks. We've got a 17 and a 28.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one of the mental attacks hits with the physical attacks. One of the mental attacks is natural 20.
No,
and
I have
a. You got a thing?
Yeah.
Are you a great cleric now?
Yeah.
And then a 24. So those are both going to hit you. So let's do the physical first.
Yes, let's, Sean.
All right, so as this, you see one of the maws kind of almost like moves through you, as if it didn't necessarily miss you, and like it just didn't affect you. And then the other one, though, clasps down onto you. You can hear the teeth grating against your plate armor, scratching it up, but not penetrating, but still dealing damage. You only take 9 points of piercing damage because it rolled very low on all those d8s. Well, let's do that nat 20 next. So that is going to be the maximized damage, and then another 4. Oh god, it rolled much better on that. Shit. Okay. 49 points of psychic damage on that first one.
What?
Good thing you're tough now. Right?
Yeah.
And the second one is 12 points of psychic damage. As you feel a similar kind of like heads come off the dragon and bite towards you, but they kind of vanish around your head. And you just see this creature has 4 green eyes, and you see them glowing brightly and thrumming in the same way that the eyes of the elemental creature thrummed, as you could just feel rack after rack after rack of mental pain hitting you in the mind, crippling you almost to the point of falling to your knees, as you can feel this dominating power trying to control you also.
No.
But that is the dragon's turn. It is the Cobalt Hunter's turn now. We're going to turn and look up and see this big old dragon above them and go for some more spear throws. And you would actually see another one joins them. Comes running out. Good. Where the hell did that mini go? Oh god. Lost the mini, so just use a random one until I find it. You can actually see this one is it's Nkala who's come running out. So she's gonna have a separate attack from these 4 that's a little stronger. Good. These 4 go for the attack. 3 of them miss. 1 of them hits. 9 points of damage, and he is going to get 2 attacks. Nkala. Whoa. Rolling not great, Nkala. 1 of her attacks does hit, though. She did a lot of damage. He deals 29 points of piercing damage. As you can see, she throws the spear the first time, and when it hits the creature, or it kind of like skitters off the hide of the creature, and then kind of immediately as it almost goes off into the distance, turns to water and reforms in her hand. And this time she kind of does some cool monk shit, I'll say, and kind of leaps back and forth on the wall to then go up and strike the creature in the chest from the spear. And it pierces into the shadowy chest, and you can see more of that viscous green fluid that's coming out of its chest as she's hanging there for a moment. But the spear turns to water again, and she drops down and does a cool 3-point land. And the spear reforms in her hand.
That's my mentor.
Timber's thinking about, who to set Kieran up with.
A nice strong lady.
Nice strong lady, yeah.
Nice strong dragon lady. All right, it is back to the top of the order with the Eye creature. The Eye of Sauron is up. This creature is going to climb down to attack Timber.
Oh, my God, it's disgusting. Go away.
Yeah, and it has, it's essentially like a spectral... it has a humanoid form, but it has several arms all down its body, and it's essentially like a ghost centipede that then has this one big green eye that looks like a green Sauron, kind of, actually. Except there's no fire, it's just sort of a green fog around it. The creature is going to look at you, and you can see that eye thrumming and glowing brighter, and I need you to give me a...
Wisdom saving throw?
No, I need you to give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, man, charisma.
This creature is slowly turning into a spaghetti
19.
meatball.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, it is wisdom. It is wisdom. I read it
Can I use
wrong.
the same roll?
You can use the roll and add whatever your charisma
Yeah,
or your
20.
charisma modifier. Okay. Anything happen if you do succeed? All right, so you do not receive damage because it tried to cast Dominate Person on you, and you see as the eye is radiating out at you, it almost gets frustrated at its inability to take control of you, and it doesn't have any more actions left though, so it just sort of wriggles in frustration. All right, Katya, you're up. You are unstunned now.
Good. Am I? I can't see myself on the.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. How
You have not moved because you got stunned before you.
Yeah. Yep.
So you are within 30 feet of the Wriggly Eye elemental, and you are then an additional 30 or so feet away from the dragon, although the dragon is in the air.
Yep. Okay. All right. I am going to use 30 feet of that movement. Is there space behind it so I can flank?
There is not. It is backed up against the wall of the steps.
All right. That's fine. I'll use.
But you are within 30 feet of Huron now, so you do not have disadvantage.
Hey. All right. So, first attack is going to be with the spear. That's going to be a 23.
23, that will definitely hit.
Okay. That will be 20 points of damage. 7 of that is piercing. And the rest of it is nope. Does the modifier get added to the piercing or the force?
It's the piercing that it gets added to.
So then it's 13 points of piercing and 7 points of force.
20 total.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Second one also going to be with the spear. That is a 27.
Oh, real quick, I forgot about a feature it has. I need you to give me an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh,
You can still roll the attack for the
it
next
was
one.
almost a 19. 10.
10. Okay, you take.
No. No.
You receive a gift, health potion.
Oh, good.
You hear a voice in your head
Excellent.
that's trying to reach you about your car warranty. That's really what these dragon is here for.
Yeah.
You take 9 points of psychic damage. As you the eye it turns and the eye catches you, and as you stab it with your spear, you feel as if you just stabbed yourself with the spear.
Oh,
But you can still do your next attack.
Okay, well, the second was a 27 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
Right. That will be 15 points of damage.
Nice.
And then I am going to flurry of blows. Flurry, not fury. Flurry of blows. Pop, pop.
You mean
With the
fluffier
spear.
blows?
No,
Lucky
19.
blows.
I only said
19.
fluffier blows because Sean's
19.
Sean's
19 will
dog
hit.
walked in.
All right, that is 16 points of damage.
Nice.
One more.
Natural 1. That does
Yep.
not hit.
Yeah.
What?
But so I have this feature because I'm a drunken monk. I use drunken technique, and whenever I use flurry of blows, I gain the benefits of the disengage action. So I want to use the rest of my 20 feet to go up and join my comrades.
Got it. Okay. You are up with your other Cobalt Hunters. And it is Kaze's or Wiswick's turn.
Real quick, 16 temp HP.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I need that.
I think I'm going to get up a little bit closer so I'm actually on the screen.
Okay. How much of your movement do you want to use?
As much as it takes me, I want to get right where the camera meets the corner of the screen, if that
Okay.
helps you.
Okay. Well, I gotta look on stream because I think that would be like right here. Well, let's see actually if you can make that.
That's yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
We
you
got
can
it right
you
now,
can
it's
literally make it so that you're just off screen.
good. Nice.
I'll move it over a little bit. Well, yes. What would you like to do now with the rest of your turn?
I'm gonna use arc bolts again, except this time I'm gonna switch it to force damage.
Nice.
So when I shoot my arc bolts, instead of electricity, well, it starts off as electricity around me, and it slowly gets modified by my alchemical casting. It turns into like a purple glow, and it shoots like electricity, but it's really just like it hits like a force. Like it doesn't electrocute them; it just like shatters into them. Maybe it's like a purple electric punch, something like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's 5 bolts. I'm going to remember to burn a first level spell slot to get that extra bonus damage.
Okay.
And
You are not within Curon's Twilight Sanctuary, so these will be at disadvantage.
what's giving me disadvantage?
It is the dragon's gift of the Dark Star that is creating this obscuring vision for enemy units in the area.
Does superior dark vision help with that?
No. Otherwise,
Mm.
none of the other players would have gotten their disadvantages because they all have pretty decent dark vision.
Can I back up to my rock?
You're out of movement.
I guess I'll take the disadvantage.
You'd still have disadvantage by the rock.
Anyway. First
Good luck.
one. Roll. It would have been an 18, but it was a 7, so that makes a 16. 16
That
doesn't hit.
does not hit, no.
Okay, rolling again at disadvantage. Nat 20 and a 10 turns into a 19.
That will hit.
Okay, so that one is 2d8. And then I'm gonna add the, what's it called? The extra
extra.
bonus dice.
Go for it.
So that's 5 plus 5 is 10 damage. Doing great so far, guys. We're gonna go for attack number 3. No dice. Well, actually 2 dice, but no rolls. Another one. No good. Final one. Also terrible. Gonna spend a luck point to roll again.
Nice.
Do I roll flat on luck point?
Flat, yeah. Luck is flat. It's just an additional. It's just an additional d20.
And I miss on that one too, so we're doing great.
Okay. I mean, the dragon. I will say the dragon does not look like it's in great shape. It has taken a lot of damage, and these hunters, when they do get their hits off, are really dragging it down. All right. Anything else on your turn?
The pun.
I think I'm good.
Dragging it down. Sorry.
I did not mean it.
I heard it too.
Right.
I heard it too.
I mean, I totally meant that. Absolutely, pun. Anything else, Wiswick?
I'm good.
15 temp.
Right. Well, he's not within 30 feet of you.
You don't get it. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
In
Um,
Could
spirit.
have had.
15 temp in spirit.
I tried to get on the screen for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Our little legs don't work that good.
Yeah, you're only 15 feet away from getting that 30 feet bonus, but next turn. Kaze, you're up. You're on deck.
Sean, how much movement would it take for me to get up to the dragon? If I were to do stupid things.
Stupid things will require an acrobatics check.
Yeah. But if I were to use an acrobatics check,
How much movement do you have?
I have 55. Wait.
You have plenty of movement to do that. You would just need to do the dope monk shit to avoid needing to do extra movement, like by jumping up on things,
I
essentially.
will do. So I have 50 feet of movement, not 50.
Okay, if you succeed on your check, it will only take you 40 feet of movement to get up to the dragon.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. It's a 28. All right. So.
Oh, yeah. Please explain to me the dope monk shit of how you get from down here to up here.
I need to first know if I take a hit from this eyeball monster.
Oh, you would. Yeah, you would take it, or you would get attack of opportunity.
Yeah. So see if it hits first.
Okay. That's a natural one.
Okay, so Timber steps on this, like uses this little
Oh
blob
god,
as like a stepping stool and just presses on his eyeball. It's like ah!
Oh yeah, you've got weird, gross ichor on your foot now as you're running up there.
And it gives me slight friction, so I use it to my advantage. So I do the same thing. I watch the movement of oh my god, I forget her name.
Nkala.
Ankala, yeah. I watch her movements, and I do exactly that. But once I reach up there, I do an additional little boost off of my goo foot, and and I swing around the dragon's neck again, and try to get on top. Do a little like Legolas.
Yeah.
On the horse.
Oh, on the horse.
The
Yeah.
CGI, like really quick, because he
Yeah.
broke his rib. Anyway.
Yep.
We got
Give me a quick. Yeah. We needed it. We needed a reference. Give me a quick dexterity saving throw to avoid the fire.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna take it. It's 14 damage or 14. It's DC 16, right?
Yeah, it is DC 16.
Alright.
All right. You take 16 points of psychic damage.
Ooh, wow.
Actually,
Okay.
it's very strange. As you touch the fire, you almost for a moment feel. You almost like lose your footing and drop down because you feel the pain in your head. There's no pain on your hands. Like you can put your hand through the fire, but you could see on your hands like the fire seems to be moving through your body and up to your head essentially, where you're starting to feel intense pain. But you are on the dragon now.
And I quickly slash punch.
Go for it.
And these will be dealt normally. Boop. Oh, why do you do this to me? That's an 18. That's not gonna hit. Second attack. It's a 22.
That'll hit.
And that is 12 points of damage.
Nice.
I'm going to use Fury of Blows.
Go for it.
Rawr.
Not fluffy it blows.
Not Fluffy of Blows. Actually, this is Timbers is Fluffy of Blows. Sorry.
What are you doing over there, dog?
I rolled another 18, so that's not gonna hit.
He's just wiping his ass on my carpet.
Yo, there we go.
I do the same thing.
I got a natural 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to. Okay. Well, I'll make the first one max. So that's that should be 21 points of damage.
Excellent.
Also, the last two, I want to make stunning strikes.
So two
stunning
con
strikes.
saves.
Yes, please.
First one's a natural 20.
Oh.
Second one is a 25.
Boy.
Oh man, this modifier must be pretty good. I need like a natural one.
What is your DC?
15.
I was just about to tell you what the modifier was. You can get high. You can roll
Okay.
higher than a 1. It is not stunned, but you are doing dope monk shit on its back.
Alright.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Huron, you are up.
Is he within 30 feet of me still?
Timber, yes, yes.
All right,
Dragon
13 temp HP for
Oh,
you, my lord.
You're so kind.
All right. What do you want to do, Huron?
Gonna move behind the hunters.
Okay. Are you trying to get Wiswick within your?
Not too much because I don't want to get too far away from Kaze.
Okay. How's
I'd
that?
rather prioritize the guy that's in melee combat than our
Yeah.
back line.
So Kaze would still,
Caster.
if you
No
go there,
offense.
Kaze would still be in range, but he'd be just in range.
Okay, cool. Then I'll go there.
Okay.
Can use the Fog of the Moon action to radiate more magic
Nice. What
throughout
kind of
it.
saving throw is it?
Constitution saving throw.
All right. The dragon got a 20,
It succeeds.
and the eye got an 18.
All right, that just is the DC.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
So that makes it then. So they both take half damage, right?
So they both take 1 radiant.
Oh boy.
Nice little poke.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have the spiritual weapon go down to that little Foiker down there and attack him for a 21 to hit,
That'll hit.
dealing Jesus 9 force damage.
Okay. You can see the strange Newtonian liquid that it's made out of is starting to seem to solidify as you deal more damage to it.
KKK. Kieran's gonna shout to the best of his abilities and go, "We could really use some diviners out here, maybe. Don't you have the special high-level guys?" And this is turn.
It's the dragon's turn.
Sure.
Sky.
Yeah, paper. Can you divine us victory?
Please, come on.
Yeah, the top of the next initiative order, I'll just cast 15 Sacred Flames on it.
No, 16 divine
That's what I'm
interventions.
looking for.
All right. The dragon is going to use an ability. All right. Everybody
this one's
within.
called Death to All. Everyone.
This one's just called TPK. TPK for sass.
Yo.
Everyone within 60 feet needs to give me a what kind of save? It's a saving throw. It is a no. It is a where is it? Charisma.
Shit, I'm really bad at these.
Ooh, natural 20.
Wiswick, you're just out of range, I think.
Oh yeah.
13.
All right, Katya. Everyone who got under an 18 failed. So let's roll some damage real quick.
You don't have to.
I think I did. All right, so if you failed, you take 29 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
If you succeed, you take half.
Breathe.
And Katya and Timber both failed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So on you two, you essentially stalks of shadow come out of the dragon, and grasp the both of you, lifting you up in the air until you're in front of the dragon, essentially.
Oh boy.
Lifting you off its back, Kase. And you both are essentially like, you find, like, as you're resisting this, find your bodies like stiffened, like your arm, if you're like trying to like move your arms, they're pulled down and you're
Yeah.
held tight in this shadow,
Oh.
and your heads are forced to look into the dragon's eyes.
Oh,
As you
no.
can see, it has two on each side, these bright green, like the little centipede goops, and reminiscent of the lights of Karsuri that you've all seen before. Well, Katya, you haven't really seen too much of it, but and you feel yourselves almost like being pulled into those eyes for a moment, as in your mind, you will, at this moment, remember and feel all the horrible feelings of your worst memory ever. Timber, you feel like you're reliving your wife's death over and over and over and over again within this small moment. Katya, I don't know what your worst memory is because it didn't happen on stream. You're reliving your parents, finding your parents dead in your little village after the white dragon attacked over and over and over again as a small girl. As you can all hear this visceral reaction coming from them, whatever that might sound like. If you two want to let me know. Kaze, it's as if you can't help Reyna again. It's absolutely you just in those final moments, except absent of all the love you felt in that moment and just the grief.
I thought that Katya's worst moment was the morning after the mud house.
Yeah, Katya, you're just reliving every hangover you've had
Every
over the
hangover,
last
yeah.
6 months.
Stacked on top of each other.
And your
Yep.
happiest moment was every cookie you ever ate.
Yeah.
You were both dropped from this shadow. You are still living the memory, though. You're just not restrained anymore. But you are considered. There's not really a condition for this. It is essentially like stunned, but you're stunned with these memories stuck in your minds. You will get to remake the saving throw at the start of your next turn.
Not frightened or charmed, has to be stunned.
They're incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of the horrible visions they are seeing. The nightmares. All right, it's Cobalt Hunter's turn. Oh wait, the Cobalt Hunters had to all make that save. I forgot. This is why I hate having NPCs in combat.
That's why the diviners aren't here.
Stop making things so hard for us. We need help.
I know. Yeah,
This
you see.
place literally kills monsters for a living.
I know. There's not a lot of them here. The diviners are just these little clerics. The hunters are out on rotation.
The meat pack, the meat shield for us.
They're making me in the kitchen.
All right. Well, half the hunters fail and are cripplingly depressed now on the ground. But Kankala and two of them are okay. These two are base. So I'll have Kankala and this guy attack now. 2 attacks, 1 hits, 1 fails. And the other guy fails. Okay. Alright, she deals those low ones. 7 points of damage. Homage. The dragon. Okay.
They also get 17 temp HP.
Excellent. None of them are close to dying, but thank you. All right. Top of the order.
The order to you.
Squid Squiggly boy, Squiggly Eye climbs up.
Squid
Squidward.
Squidward climbs up to attack Kiran.
What did I do? I imagine Kieran's just like standing up there, like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like staff out over the shields, looking up at the dragon, and then it's just like, and it comes around and just stares at your eye, and you hear that thrumming sound from the eye.
It's the office meme. Fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Kiran. I need you to give me 2 wisdom saving throws.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 17 and a 19.
The 19 actually both of those succeed, so you only take half damage for this for each of them.
Yeah, that really hurt. Really hurt.
Okay,
Oh,
the power of your points really escalated the
You take
power of your spell.
16 points of psychic damage. As you see a bunch of bolts of light fling out of the upper portions of the temple, as you can see, I'll say, how many did I say before?
16. You said 16.
I'm gonna say 16 guiding bolts go flinging out. And I'll say one of them, at least one of them, or 2 of them go for the jelly guy, so that he can be included. Squidward, my goodness.
Is the other one still banished?
Yeah, that's the thing. Wiswick is safely stated at combat. That thing's not coming back. It's back in its home plane.
Alright, cool.
Alright. I am not
Still.
even... I'm just going to roll the attacks, and if enough of them succeed, I'm pretty sure it's going to take care of this, because... Yeah, I'm just going to call it... There's 16 of them, and they're rolling really well in the first 8.
Excellent.
And they deal 46 radiant base, so this thing did not have that much health left. So essentially what happens is you can see kind of like the Kiran, as you call this out, you can see past the hunters, some of them suffering. You see your 2 friends suffering up there, and you can see the Ardent Eye inside stepping forward with several diviners behind him. You can also see coming out on the upper balconies several diviners, and they all begin to cast these guiding bolts that look similar to the kind of water of Katya's spear, as they all collectively thrash around the dragon and form another watery sphere around him as they're twisting around, and then sort of just crunches down and then splashes out. As you can see, the dragon's form gets crushed within the tide of the water, and you see the flames go out on its back. You can see the dragon descend down and fall onto everyone, I guess. As you know, they all kind of like duck out of the way, dart and dash as the dragon collapses in front of you, Kiran. You can see that Iker is still around it, though, and is still kind of alive around it. You see the creature next to you, as it takes the damage from the water, solidifies entirely, and then collapses to the ground, shattering into dust and ash. As the combat has concluded. You can see all the light comes back to the space. The torches were not blown out. They just were being strangled. As
Are we still reliving the memories, or did that fade too?
there is a it slowly is still hitting you.
Okay.
But it fades pretty quickly after the combat ends. One might say 6 seconds after combat ends.
Okay.
Timber's going to, with tears coming from his eyes, realizing what's happening, and be like, "Oh, fucking magic," and then just and then take a really big,
Yeah.
back of the head flask.
Yeah. The sounds of the order return. The light from inside returns. You can see the stars above now, where earlier it was all being choked out. As you can see this peculiar draconic creature on the ground, it is slowly starting to decompose rapidly. Slowly, rapidly decomposing. All DMs have to do that. It is rapidly decomposing in front of you. What would you all like to do?
Wiswick just walks closer to everyone and is just like, well, that was fun. You guys ready for dinner?
I will see that across the way, like once that finally stops, I'll see Timber reacting, and first thing she wants to do is take a drink, but she's really frustrated with how she performed in that fight. Like, she didn't feel like she, protected her home enough, so she's gonna go don't monk shit down, and she's gonna go, I want to go look for Helena.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Hopping down and trying to collect a vial of that ichor before it disappears.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the ichor is kind of... Go ahead, Kieran.
Kieran will help him and is looking for a heart.
Wiswick, what are you doing?
Wiswick is pooped, and he feels like he's done everything that he could do or wants to do right now. So he's gonna try and celebrate with the monks and just be like, "Hey guys, good job! Great! You were great help! Really bang up job over there. What do we have to eat? Can we go to the kitchen now? I heard there was a feast."
You see the monks. The monks all just sort of like look at you and take a moment, and then they kind of go immediately back into hospitality. And one of them leads you over to where you can see the half-eaten meals, or almost completely eaten meals, of Timber and Kieran there. And then there's a plate for you as well with what they believe the Sphere of Neblin would like to eat. There's a lot of fungi there. There's a lot of mushrooms. But there's other food there as well. And plenty of drink.
I take whatever's left of Timber's plate, which is mostly meat, and I put it on top of the fungus and start eating.
It's meat that is seared so lightly that it's basically raw.
I heat it up a little.
Okay, you got the mat. You got fire. You can do it.
You got the touch.
You see, Katya, you would see Helena slowly coming out of the temple to see the creature as well. Timber, give me a quick harvesting check. What should we do first? What do we usually do for your herbalism?
Is it nature?
Well, I have expertise now in crafting, but for herbalism, which is usually just a proficiency wisdom check.
I see. Yeah, let's do the same thing for this.
Okay.
And you can, while you're doing that, Kieran, you can start. You could do. I'm not going to make you roll for this, Kieran, because the heart is just there. You could just have to cut into the creature and rip its rib cage open. What'd you get, Timber?
So if you give me expertise because I read the manual.
Yes, I would give you expertise
because this is
for that.
monsters also.
Yep.
But if that's the case, then I have a 21.
21. Okay. This ichor is starting to disappear and fade away, but you're able to get a full vial of it, and you can see once you harvest it, it does seem to stop fading essentially. But Timber, give me a quick wisdom saving throw. DC 18.
Fail. 19. 9.
Oh, I was like 19.
Yeah, no, sorry.
As you kind of interact with this fluid, you feel an emotional weight. It seems to almost exacerbate the memories of Reyna that you were feeling.
Timber knows this is like magical. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So
you can
he's-
tell that there's a magical. You've experienced enough magical things making you make wisdom saving throws that you can identify pretty easily. Most of you, all of you, can pretty easily identify, unless you fail too much on these checks, when things are affecting you magically when they're around you.
In that case, Timber's going to just make a spectral hand, his mage hand, just where he's holding it, just appear in his hand and then hold it away. Is it still affecting him in his mage hand?
No.
Okay, so it's only when he touches it. Okay.
But it does. You do notice it is starting to fade away while it's in your mage hand,
Even if it's corked?
even if it's corked.
Oh, shit. Is it slowly or rapidly? Can I have
Slowly,
a
it is
conversation?
fading away.
Kieran, this Icar is
Kieran, you're elbow deep in this dragon right now.
Yes.
you can, I guess you can feel it. Do you not have any? Are you
what?
excited about this right now? Are you
Well, it's
overly
just
excited?
we've killed so many of these very unique draconid creatures. I'm just wondering what plane of existence this one's from, or what deity it serves, if it's an arbiter or not. I mean, just imagine, the heart here must be worth something to.
Raphael.
No, what's our orc huntress? The Mukna. I got there. Must be worth something to the Mukna.
Kieran, can you tell me a joke? I know this sounds weird. Just tell me a joke.
There once was an elf from the Gwyn Empire who dreamed he was eating an empire. No, I'm not very good at this.
Timber still laughs at this. You're so bad, Kieran. And at this, he's going to grab the Icar again.
Okay.
Is it grief or no?
Like that you feel that right now?
Yes.
Like immediately? Yeah, you do feel an immediate sinking in your stomach, and it seems like it seems tied to the memory though that you're feeling right now. It's grief that you do experience, but it's also like an overwhelming need to think about those memories, to re-experience painful memories. And it stops fading away.
Okay, well, Timber doesn't like that, so he's going to let go of it again. Kieran, do you not have any sort of... While you're touching this Icar, like you don't feel any bad memories or...
Well, you're not really touching the Icar, you're going through the dragon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Icar's around it, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
wrapped, but
Got
it's
it.
slowly fading away.
So I guess at that, Kieran, if he hasn't gotten the heart yet, which is fine, he'll like take his arm out and go, just grab one of the pieces, or I guess is it on the ground or is it still like
It's
floating?
floating.
It's still
in his-
floating.
in my mage hand right now.
Yeah.
around? Okay. Kieran will like look over at it and go to grab the vial.
Okay. Kieran, as you're holding this vial, you seem to feel. It's not that it forces a particular memory upon you. For Kaze, it just so happens that was the most recent memory that he was reliving, and it's pretty bad. You would start to feel this need to remember some of the worst moments in your life. You think about, it just sort of comes to mind, leaving the halls of the dead, rejected, your uncle's execution, your cousin forsaking you, all the terrible things that have happened on this journey.
Centuries of torture by a
Century of
safe
tortures
fuel.
by escape fuel. Yeah.
But nothing like specifically like Clayton just suggested all the terrible things our DM has done to poor little QQ. But it's not like an overwhelming feeling or anything. It's just like his mind is like, think of those bad things.
Yeah, there's a tendency for memories to well up. And in this case, particularly bad ones.
At the sight of his face, like, this, imagine chaining, like, Timber's gonna, like, pull it away with Mage.
As soon as it's again in the mage hand, it starts to slowly fade.
Very depressing ichor. Do we
Well,
want
it seems to react to bad memories, amplifying them, or at least calling them up, and giving it some kind of
like anxiety?
anchor to this realm.
Anxiety ichor? Is that what we should call it? Is that what creatures of Carcery are made of?
Is this a creature of Carcery? It doesn't look like anything we've seen from there before.
I don't know, I just assumed based on the green crap. Anyway.
Well, it had the green eyes, that's true.
Oh,
But
the eyes! I'm gonna harvest those and pour out the ichor!
and Kieran will go back in to
Good,
grab the
go
heart.
put a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
The two of us are just dissecting
just-
and
what was the
taking
whole,
this
like-
thing apart.
There's a whole...
Somewhere Kieran got like a surgeon's bib and he's just like cutting the
I
ribs.
mean, as you're starting to rip it apart, like, the Kobold Hunters are also now. They're coming and they're starting to slowly harvest all of it in some way. It's not very usable. It's not like good meat to eat or anything like that.
That could be a good flank, I believe it's called.
You would notice, though, the first thing you would notice as you're starting to do this is that its bones have what appear to be arcane sigils carved into the bones themselves. They don't look like the Ogam runes you saw on the Carcery curse. They actually look more like Orcish runes, which you would only really recognize because of some of the runes at this temple are in Orcish on the statues. And while the creature was rapidly decaying, it is now slowing down. It seems like a certain energy left it, and that caused the rapid decay at first. But you're able to crack the rib cage open, and you do see there is a heart in there. The heart is the kind of the same green color of its hide, or not green, sorry, gray color of its hide, with the veins having a red hue to them throughout. You rip the heart out as Helena comes walking up.
I want to talk to her as like on the way out.
Okay.
I'm
Before she comes out fully.
yeah. So after getting down from the top of the building, I imagine that I'm shaking because, hungover, just a perpetual state of being hungover, and on a scale of 1 to 105, I'm feeling about a 17. So I am like holding my stomach and just like trying to not think about the last 2 minutes of reliving my parents' deaths again. So I'll just go up to her and say, there are so many creatures that are close to the Order. What is going on? Why have they been able to be so close? This has never happened before.
And you see her face would turn more serious as she was kind of smiling at seeing past you and seeing Kieran shoulder elbow deep in harvesting the dragon. As the Ardent Eye said to us, and I believe maybe to you, these creatures are not like the ones that are getting closer. The ones that are getting closer, they seem to be running from something. It's very happy music for a sad time.
How long have they been getting closer? Is it recent? Because I don't remember it. It must be recent because I don't remember it before I left on rotation.
It is very recent. Creatures are appearing closer, and we have not disrupted their migration because they have not been a threat necessarily. We have not taken care of the lightning salamanders in the past because, for the most part, they are not too threatening, easy to scare off if you know how to. The sand lurkers, as long as you keep your distance. But these creatures are new. We have not seen anything come this close to the Order. To step foot in the courtyard in the temple. They are clearly unnatural. Plus, there are a lot less of us than there used to be.
Yes, I'm aware. Would I have put together that this thing might have been after Farthiel?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever harmed Farthiel, or this could have been it. I think it's related to that somehow. So I'm glad it's finished.
We don't really ever know if something is finished. This might not be the last creatures to come after Farthiel, if your theory is correct.
Then we need to get into the oasis sooner rather than later. To get rid of whatever it is that is ailing him.
I agree. If your cleric of Eladra is strong enough to nearly remove this curse with the aid of the Sphere of Neblin, I've heard already. Perhaps at the oasis he can do more to remove such curses.
That is the hope.
But we are all alive, thanks to your friends and you. No
Related
one
to
died.
everything. Close.
We would not have let you die. Let us clean up this creature. Prepare it for offering. Even if it is unnatural, it is still a creature. And we can resume the feast after we've tended to your wounds.
Yes, Huntress. I'll turn around and go help.
And she'll follow behind you. Looked over the creature as the hunters and your friends are harvesting from it. She'll occasionally poke it with the end of her spear. You're muted, Alex.
Sean, I'm gonna be a jerk for a second. All of its bones, are they decaying as well?
No.
Its claws, do they have any arcane sigils on it?
Yes.
Can I take them?
You may. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, do I get the eyes?
For the eyes, I'll ask for a check. The claws, you can get
Do
pretty easily.
If I feel depressed, I'm not taking them.
You dumped out the vial, right?
Yeah, I dumped out the vial.
So you feel the normal levels of depression.
Yeah.
His Kaze's baseline of being like, wow, what am I doing?
He's
with
back
my
to
life?
a 3 instead of
Exactly.
Sorry. Wisdom.
Oh, right.
Oh, I fail. I rolled a natural 2.
Okay. Yeah, these. Yeah, you
I
pop
just-
them. You're just not doing well. You go in with the knife and you just like accidentally puncture one of them, and it just, you can see the eyes start to dim as you're going to harvest them, and there's just, the procedure's not quite right. Like you get one cleanly out, but like it seems like all the magic has faded from it, and you do not get any of its eyes.
I imagine I like get it, and I squish it, and then I just like look to see if anyone's around, and I see one kobold hunter just looking at me like.
You could have asked for help. I imagine you got another one clean out, and as you're looking at it, like you think you got it, and then it just pops of its own volition. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna take one of the claws.
You can definitely do that.
While I'm removing the heart, the ardent huntress is there, correct?
Yes.
So, arm deep in there, Kieran like looks up at her and goes, "So, have you ever dealt with a creature like this before? I noticed some arcane sigils upon its bones. Do they look familiar at all?"
And you see she would come around the creature and kneel down next to you, and before even looking at the bones, help you with what you're struggling with. As you see, she pulls back the rib cage, not only to look at the bones, but also to make it easier for you to harvest the heart. You see she does, run her fingers over the runes. These are certainly interesting. We have not... Well, alone it is peculiar to see runes etched on the bones of a creature that is whole. Only furthering the unnatural nature of this creature. But these are orcish runes. I'm sure you've seen them around the temple.
Oh, yeah.
Curious. And you see she looks over to the hunters and she's, "Make sure that you preserve these bones. We must investigate and translate them. This is worrying indeed." And you see from behind her, you look over after you have the hearts, you kind of look up, and through like kind of the crooked wings, you can see the ardent eye is just like staring right at you, Kieran, from the dark.
Kieran like almost like offers it up to him. The heart, that is.
Yeah, and you see the like no expression change on his face, just this stoic glance. You can see his eyes glow a little bit, which usually happens when he's divining or seeing visions.
Judging
Sean Wiswick is wondering where his friends are, and he's taking his half-eaten dinner back out to find everyone.
Yeah, Kieran, you're looking at the ardent eye, and there's this chilling moment of his stoicism, and then you look directly next to him as you see Wiswick munching on mushrooms and cooked meat, mouth full as he's coming looking for the lot of you.
Oh, that's gross. What do you got there? That's nasty. Dude, come
Another
eat.
heart.
Wash your hands.
I already ate while you were off doing whatever it is you were doing. Wiswick, these runes here, can you read them at all?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll just do comprehend languages again.
Oh, and can you read these over here too on this clock?
Oh, you guys have made this pretty easy for me. All right, let's go down the list.
And we will do that when we come back from our break. So we're gonna go on a break. You see that the you have the claw, but also the Cobalt Hunters kind of make sure to leave bones with you for you to investigate, while they are like super quickly, now that they're all doing it. And you can see those two ardent hunters who experience the same visions as Timber and Katya. They like every now and then the other hunters have to kind of like smack them to continue harvesting, as they're just like staring mild distance and pause several times. and slow down. But they are very quickly. This dragon is just a very small amount of bone and flesh left that you all are investigating, while they are starting to take the rest of it away. But we will take a break, and when we come back, we will see what Wiswick can discern with comprehend languages. We're back. Welcome back, everyone, to Advantage in Paradise. We're back from our break.
Yeah.
And our heroes are investigating some bones. So you cast Comprehend Languages, Wiswick?
Mhm.
Okay. Are you investigating the bones or the claws first?
Let's go with the bones since I do things in the order that I was given.
You got it. All right. So the bones, much like the Ogum runes and how you get kind of like a literal translation of them, not necessarily their poetic meaning.
Oh yeah, so the rib bone is connected to the spinal
That's exactly
cord.
what they say. It's just a it's just a nursery rhyme.
We all fall down.
Essentially, the gist of it is, you notice mingled with the runes, and you'd definitely be able to notice these, that there's necromantic sigils, and that this dragon may have been technically, in some ways, an undead construct. Not in the same way that you typically would just see like a Draco Lich like you fought, or skeletons or decomposing creatures. This was more whole and not decaying. And perhaps that rapid decay that happened was because these runes of necromancy were snuffed out. The text itself, though, there's a few things that stand out. There is mention frequently of the shifting sands on the bones, in an honorific way. Kind of like the power might be drawn from whatever this shifting sands is on there. And it's reverent. The bones are mostly talking about honoring the shifting sands and drawing power from them to give this creature life. There's also mentions of, you see in a few places, memory, nightmares, the mind mentioned in certain places. There's no straight, just sort of sentence you can pull from it, but it all points in these directions of necromancy, mental magic, and this shifting sand.
Visvik,
So,
is there anything about applying a curse on this claw?
could I possibly check for maybe just cast? I mean, I can't cast detect magic because that'll get rid of the thing. But do I sense anything inherently magical, just generally from these things? Like, is there anything obvious?
Yeah, so the most obvious magical aspects of the claws are similar to the bones in the sense of these runes definitely applied magical effects to whatever they're on. The ones that were internal seem to be different from these ones. The internal ones were very much about honoring the shifting sands. The claws, it's a lot more about power and empowerment. Nothing that mentions curses, though. There is something like the probably the closest thing to in what you can see in these runes is there is this word manifest over and over again in the runes.
If if the runes in general, like without translating them, but just like looking at them generally, do they look like the same patterns that I saw within the curse?
No, they are actually different from the curse. They are a different language from the curse.
Okay.
A different runic structure.
There's not much to say here, guys. There's
Give me a quick investigation check, though.
okay. I like doing that.
On the claws.
I rolled
You're
nice.
looking for similarities.
I got 27.
27, nice. On the claws, the runes are very tightly packed. As opposed to on the larger bones, they're more spaced out, so it's harder to read them here. Around the words manifest in Orcish, you do find some of those Ogam runes you saw at the other on the curse. It's very small and woven into the other runes, kind of the same way that you wove your Neblin runes into the curse. The runes you find there say harvester.
Ooh. Okay, a few running theories, guys. Even though I can understand what these runes mean, they're not very clear. It's a lot of jargon, but what I feel like is this is probably the creature that had cursed our poor friend in the infirmary, but because there is some modifications to these claws that look similar to the curse runes that we had previously discovered. I don't know if this is the only one of them out there, but it doesn't seem like there is a relation to the carcery and the creation of this undead construct. It seems to be, its origin seems to be from a different source. It keeps mentioning these shifting sands in reverence, some sort of, power of the fields of glass, possibly. I think that's pretty much all we can get out of it. Yes, Kieran?
Kieran, make a religion check.
I see your little bubble in my documents.
I intentionally made sure the cursor is on there.
I also make a religion check.
Yeah, anyone who wants to make a religion check on shifting sands can.
Sure.
It was almost a natural 1.
I got a natural 1.
To a 15.
Wiswick did a pretty good job.
Wow, I got a natural 19.
Oh, hell yeah. Alright,
I
so
got
I guess
+0.
Timber knows the most. I got an 18.
18?
Yep.
18, 19 for Timber. What was yours, Katya?
2.
2. You got a 15, Kieran? Okay. So, Kieran, you've not heard of the shifting sand. Wiswick, you've not heard of the shifting sand either. Kaze, what was your total again? Oh, you have a 0 modifier,
Total is
right?
19, yeah.
Okay. You don't know anything about the shifting sand
Okay.
either. Yeah, the DC was higher than that. It was different for everyone also, depending on your background.
Has Ankala or the Ardent Huntress heard about them?
I just want to clarify that I have read like 3 different books on the Morseer conflict. Not me, Kieran has.
Oh, I thought you had.
I just have the one. If there's more, you bet your ass I'd be reading that.
Yeah, you write them, we'll read them, Sean.
I know it. That's a good point, Kieran. I'll give you advantage. You can roll again.
Yes.
And Wiswick, I'll give you advantage too because you've helped him with that research.
Keep asking, and eventually the DM will give it.
Oh,
that's even worse.
I did better. No, I didn't. Never mind. Wait, hold on. What did I roll last time?
You did way better, Clayton.
Okay, I did way better, Sean.
What'd you get?
26.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what you. Yeah. Okay. So I'd say together, in their contemplating, Wiswick and Kieran, so that I can give Kieran a little contribution to this, since he is the primary researcher. Because you guys have researched the chained gods before in that process.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. You would have worshipped the those who were involved.
Yes, we would have worshipped them. Yes.
Red. there were mentions in probably less so than the other ones because you were reading from a Caerdolan library, and they just care more about the north than the south with their research. But there was mentions of essentially if you're to look at the Morser conflict as theaters of combat, they look at the southern theater to have been the primary antagonist of this was Ashk, known as the Shifting Sand. A old orcish deity, known for their trickery, their. Do you want to tell us?
It's fine.
Huron?
I'd love
no.
to hear what changes you've made to him since, if you've made any. I don't mean to be presumptuous.
No, Dark here. I would love to hear everything you have to know about him.
So
You
the
guys
thing
work
is,
together.
you really only know them as a trickster god of the south that was sided with the Wayward One, and had primarily, when the shit hit the fan with the Morser conflict, started attacking the southern civilizations. There wasn't a lot of information about Ashk, other than that they were an ancient orcish deity from long ago that had a propensity for trickery and necromancy. Had a particular interest in souls, much like the Wayward One had a particular interest in souls. Naturally antagonistic towards other deities, and sided with the Wayward One in the conflict, or at the very least, the Wayward One recruited them to sow chaos and do terrible things, with his ultimate goal of probably killing it after everything was successful. Just as he was going to kill all the other gods who sided with him in the long run.
And the Shifting Sands is what with this deity?
It's essentially the deity's title.
Oh,
the deity's
the
more often
title.
referred to as the Shifting Sands.
Got it. Sorry.
I think they say that the old tales said every grain of sand in the desert was a soul claimed by Ashk. But
They did say that.
I could be mistaken.
But yes, you do know that Ashk was But Ashk was supposedly, just like the Raven Sisters, chained. Was not one of the dead gods. They were chained.
So I imagine, between the two of them, muttering between each other, Kieran and Wiswick are well, remember from this book over here, and written by so-and-so,
and I imagine you, pulling the books out of the bag of holding, and kind of, if there's any that you still have.
We stole from, the academy.
He's reaching into the bag of holding, and I push his hand away, and I pull it out because he's got bloody hands from the heart. Have some respect.
Let me just wipe this on my plate.
You can use
Yeah.
my fur.
So, what would you like to do or continue?
So I think we've pretty much learned everything we can from these, foul beasts. Do you guys, I mean, are we in any rush? I could use a break. The sands is hot. We've got ice cream here, and kind people. Do we really I mean, I know that it's important to go to the oasis and everything, but
And more important than that is rescuing our friend Scarlet,
yeah, I guess that's true.
who every day is being tortured by another Scathe more powerful than Myas.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, we should keep an eye on her at least.
The power that Scathe showed was almost tenfold, making that up, what Maya showed.
Fair. It's fair.
Me.
We could take him, I'm sure.
Oh, I bet we can, especially once we gain more strength from the oasis
Sorry, so
fields. That's why
call
we must
comes from
make
the clouds.
haste.
So,
We can rest here for the night, but come with the sun, we should leave.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
And after that, I'm pretty tarnished. So
I guess I'll have to make do with one night's worth of rest.
Did he say tarnished?
Yeah, I was gonna let it go, but
I just want to make sure. Okay. I guess he's very tired indeed.
very,
well,
very fatigued.
he takes another swig of his flask.
Yeah,
Tarnished. What word were you
he's getting
looking
drunk.
for?
We don't.
You don't,
Katya,
you don't ask questions from my English language.
imagine you're just kind of like leaning against the wall, tired while this is going on. You would know that it's a more than 1 day journey to the oasis, so there'd be plenty of time to rest in the carts.
Yep, I don't say anything though, because I'm tired and everything hurts.
Okay. Now that you see that once you're done with these, the body, you see there's like 2 cobalt hunters kind of like waiting there. Like, can we take this now?
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Is there anything you would like to keep?
Timber's like playing with the claw like a child at Wiswick.
Can I go
And
take
then
that claw
you can have this.
before he hands it to my colleague? I want to take that and I'm gonna look at it and maybe reach into a pocket and pull out just a leather cord or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to fashion a necklace out of it, and I'll say, this is to reminds me of what it did to Farthiel, and that I will never let it happen again.
Of course, and a reminder of what power friendship can do to it. And really a whole bunch of diviners. Like, did you see that? Oh, by Iluvani.
Yes, I'm going inside. Are you coming?
Of course, and Kieran's going to pat her on the back and subtly just cast little heal wounds.
Thank you. Heal wounds? That's a new spell.
Cure wounds. Actually, I think I have to do healing. I don't think I have cure wounds prepared.
Tarnished
so healing
wounds.
word.
Tarnished wounds.
What word were you looking for? That's really bothering me.
Garnished.
Tarnished.
No, that's not
All
right.
right, so you see the hunters, they
It would be
begin
moist.
to harvest what's left of the dragon as the rest of you go back inside to go and rest or eat, be healed, all those sorts of things.
Sean, I actually want to roam a little bit because I know that there's not much time for us to explore here. So, Wiswick's original goal before all of this started was to just explore the ruins a little bit more of this area. So he's just gonna go on a late night stroll and see if there's any, just investigating, looking for any like very old structures or ruins that he might be able to uncover. He might take one of his golems back from guard duty to come with him and help him like uncover things or lift rocks or whatever he needs it for.
Yeah, sure. You could definitely do that.
Don't touch anything.
What is everyone doing for the rest of the evening, though? It is probably around 8 o'clock at night. What would you all like to do?
Kieran stands patiently in front of the offering stone, holding the heart, waiting.
I want to go back down to Farthiel.
Okay. Timber?
Timber is like just laying near Kieran. Just kind of like hanging
Tarnished.
out. All tarnished out.
I'll
I imagine
tarnish that.
Kieran like looks over him at one point, gives him a little healing word, and continues his vigil, if you will.
He's awake. He's just like playing
Yeah.
with like Raina's pocket watch, like spin it around, or like the immovable rod, just like throwing it up, mage handing, like catch it, like trying to poke the button before it comes back down.
Wisbit, give me an investigation roll for your late night jaunt.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pretty tight. Got a 27.
Nice. Okay. So you're able to find on the outskirts of the firmaments some of these runes.
Should I be more specific, or
You
Do you
can
have
be.
an-
Yeah, if you have more specific things you want to look for.
So I have a general idea that it's gonna be Seer, like it's a Seer rune, and I think that in the past I was always searching for, I guess specifics would be things that would connect to deity sources or things that I've already seen before.
Mhm.
The I don't know if the Underdark runs through here. Probably not, but it's always good to try and figure out more mysteries about,
Yeah.
chain gods is what I'm really looking for, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say you definitely, with that high of a roll, you can definitely find some more intact, larger ruins here. The ruins do feel, as you're looking at them, pre-Morasir, like you theorized. They're anything that's intact is very large. It looks like small pieces of extremely large architecture, bases of columns and other structures. You can see just from kind of like your archaeological background, you can see like there's evidence of like a lot of infrastructure here for a port city, and that, especially considering all the ruins you saw along the way, that there was probably a very massive city that was on the edge of this sea that was once here. And it would have probably taken quite a force to destroy, and as rapidly as the ruins make it seem. So this, I could say, you could definitely pretty safely confirm these ruins are pre-Morasir, especially with the age they appear.
Could I infer that the shifting sands had something to do with the destruction of this city?
I'd say that would be a safe inference, given that the shifting sands was the primary threat in the southern portion of the continent.
What else would I be able to discover about the Cobalt Hunters? Are they an old? They occupied this rune, right? Like there's no mention of them in anything.
Yeah, no, it's very clear that the Cobalt Hunters are post Morasir, that they've established their monastery here at a different time, and was very separate. They're very separate from these ruins.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, not much. Not much that he didn't already like estimate, but it doesn't hurt to search, and he enjoys it. It actually makes him feel a little bit more at home, just being able to walk alone in an empty area where there's remnants of the past that he can explore and identify. Like, this is what he used to do in his youth when he was in the Underdark, when he was skipping out on digging holes for his family.
I'd say the last thing you would really be able to infer with a 27 is marked in the geological sort of artifice here, and the way these ruins are destroyed. You can discern that the destruction was rapid. It was not a slow decay. There was something that created a geological layer almost here that shows quick destruction.
Well, is it like, would you say that there's something in the ground that would identify that, or would you say that it was like ridden by someone? Because if it was ridden by someone, that means like everything went bad and people left. Other than
No.
People are buried under the sand or some shit like that.
Yeah. No. It would be in the geological record here that there's like a concentrated layering of what you would probably be able to discern is massive destructive magical damage to the space.
So yeah, I imagine in a attempt to educate as well as entertain his golem, I guess just like Dewey and Huey are with me. Louis stayed back because he's the lazy one. Uh, I begin making an embellished story about like the things that I discover. Like as I'm discovering things, I'm like telling them like, oh yeah, this part, these sediments show a rapid change, maybe a giant sandstorm of unbelievable magical energy scoured the land and cursed all that were unfortunate enough to fall in its wrath. Their faces turned into sand, and their butts shot sand out of them, and they flew into the sky and were never seen again. And just like making up stupid stuff to entertain them.
Yeah, Dewey is listening intently. Like if he could, he would be writing it all down.
He is. He's got a photographic memory.
Well, yes, he is, but he's listening very intently while Huey is a bit distracted, but is paying attention. Okay. Huron, back inside as you sit at the altar. You can see the ardent eye does slowly kind of approach you and rests on the other side, drops down in his similar meditative stance opposite you. By the way, Wiswick, sometime towards the end of your nightly your gallivanting, Helena Talizan finds you, and just kind of pops up behind you at some point as you're telling this story to your golems. There's a point where you just suddenly hear her giggling behind you, as she's just like, "Oh, it is quite the tale. Quite the tale. I've never heard such a story about these runes."
If you're interested, I could tell you some more stories about other runes that I've discovered in far off lands. I've got a whole list.
And you see she enthusiastically agrees to listening to your stories, as you've finally found someone besides your golem and Kalra who really enjoys listening to the many stories that you tell of the different things you've discovered.
And I think because of her genuine interest, Wiswick begins to stop embellishing as much. Like he seems to enjoy telling his stories from like scientific or he says like factual evidence that he has to discover to prove, like he's trying to make himself look good essentially.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh yeah, based on this I came to this conclusion and stuff like that, instead of just like making it more of a children's story.
Excellent. And
But
she'll ask plenty of questions.
Awesome.
Huron. The ardent eye kneels down across from you. His eyes are no longer glowing. And he'll look to the heart that you have. You have an offering.
Well, I thought should be an offering of yours, given you and your diviners were the one that took down that beast.
Perhaps you can help me in the ritual.
It would be my honor, O great ardent eye.
And he'll quietly begin preparing the incense and the oil, and slowly go through.
Yeah, Kieran will start to wash the stone as he does that.
And you can see he's quite skilled at preparing these things. He's done this probably a million times. As he's kind of rushing through this, he'll kind of be looking up and down from the material up to you as he's speaking to you. You're from the far north, Elysia, where they call Eladra Eliuvania.
It is so.
You're a holy man, devoted. What are you looking for?
Well, right now I'm looking for a shard, 2 more shards actually, of the crescent moon.
Do you believe it will be at the oasis?
I had a vision that seemed to point that way, yes.
There are crypts there, or a crypt is what they call it. The tenders do not go in it. No one does anymore, save the bravest, or most would say foolish.
I've been called those
Explorers.
things before.
You're not as in tune with your community, being this far out.
What do you mean by that? What community? The people from my homeland, the Elysians.
Yes. Isolationists, and believe Eliuvania is theirs.
Yes. The more time I've spent out here in the larger world, the more I've realized how much we can do to help out here. Human kingdoms squabble amongst themselves and bring war to the Gwyn. Really, there are much larger threats and stakes in the world. Hidden threats under the guise of kings and rulers.
Yes, I had seen it.
You see much, don't you?
Too much at times. They say I am gifted with the eye of the Mukna. Kind of looks past you there to your friends now gathered, and you can see at this point Gil and Rosen have joined, and Clay has joined as well.
Hello, it's me, Clay.
It's unlike an Elysian to make such a party of friends. Are they all aware of the danger you bring them to?
I like to think I've made it very clear with my prophecies of doom and the end of the world and everything as we know it, but they still follow me. They're good people. Champions all. The Crescent Heart. Or the Ever Flame, he says, kind of motioning with his head, if possible, to Oriole.
Yes. A man of many secrets, it seems. I have attempted to see for each of those who would come here some futures, pasts. It's hard. Cooper is barking at children outside. It is hard to discern sometimes futures. You yourselves, as I've heard, have undone with Varthia.
To some degree, the curse that was bestowed upon him by that creature, that agent of the shifting sand.
Cooper!
Get him!
Go get him, boy. Go get him.
That's right.
He's a good boy.
He's a good
He's
boy.
defending.
He's a good boy. Hey, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Oh, what a good
That's
boy.
a good
Oh,
boy
what a good
right
boy.
there.
Just
Aw.
protecting me. He's just protecting.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing
John
a
needs
good
all
job.
the protections.
Good job.
What? It's the neighbors.
Good boy.
You hear that?
Yeah. Grr, I don't like neighbors.
He's the fifth Wayward
Yeah, I
Five
heard
member.
you.
I don't think you did.
People outside, we gotta
You're not coming. Go follow
Human, what are
me.
you doing?
You fool.
Oh god, he's shedding.
Oh, that he was. Anyway.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, he was just wiping his ass on my carpet before.
Good boy.
His ash.
His ass. At the mention of the shifting sands, his expression would change, where he was looking past you to your companions, his eyes returned to yours. As a man of faith, Kiran Silestane, you're gifted something, great power to see. And you knew actions of individuals would take that away from you somehow. And you were unsure that power was what kept you safe all along. But perhaps it needs to go. You would be weaker, but others strong. And you put at risk those around you in order for others to grow more powerful. Who maybe save the world, one might say. Or save some greater threat, end some greater threat. What would you do? Those closest to you might die, or suffer greatly.
We signed that contract when we joined him. He made it very clear. As Timber rolls over on the side, there as he was laying right next to you guys during this whole conversation.
I imagine you just kind of like fell backwards down between them.
Well,
Not between them, onto the
Yeah.
altar, but next to them.
Yeah.
The Ardenite doesn't look to Timber, he just looks directly to you, Kiran.
All things in this world must come to an end at some point. Whether that is the lives of innocents, the guilty, or the brave, or the cowardly. Whether that's the powers we hold or the powers we're given. All things must end. Think that we have control over that. Well, you see it in your visions, don't you? We have an ounce. We do. There is more free will than I once thought in this world. But power kept in one's hands grows stale, whereas spread out amongst many can turn into so many greater and better things.
Wisdom Iluvania or Ladra is not the Elysians to possess. She was once great and powerful here, as a Ladra, as you have heard and I have seen. And while she fought your war in the north, she fought their war here in the south.
Whose war?
These, the peoples, the conflict.
I see.
This Saltflat, this land is inundated with magic of the mind. It is why the diviners settled here. Sure, some of my prophecy, some of my divining comes, I hope, have faith from Demukna. I would be naive to not think that the magic here helps in some way. You mentioned Ashk, the shifting sand, known as a trickster, spider. He is also known for his use of the mind and nightmare horror. And when Elivania struck him down, as she did your dragons, his connection to whatever creates the mind spread across this land. It all reeks and twists and comes from the oasis. And you see he goes back and you can see he has this bag, this large satchel behind him. And he pulls out his most recent painting that you saw him starting of the oasis. And you can see that familiar tabaxi silhouetted against a sunset. The trees all around the still pool, and you can see the structure now that he's referencing. That is the temple there, and you can see it like it's an odd shape. It looks almost like. Do you remember when you were a kid and you would be on the beach and or you see some kid who take wet sand and just slowly let it drip to create a tower of wet sand? It almost looks exactly. It looks like a poopy castle in its structure, but wider and more accommodating of the opening that's in it. Beyond the silhouette, though, you would see your party, or the silhouettes of your party.
Or Wisdom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was Wiswick in the background. He was
That's
just
true,
doing
actually.
my
No,
job for me.
Wiswick wouldn't be there because he is non-detected.
Well, I guess wouldn't he have
this
seen
is
Wiswick
no.
now?
This he would see
Yeah.
Wiswick now because this is not a divining in the sense of scrying. This is a prophecy, essentially, divining the future. Behind you or above you all, with the sun shining behind it, is a tall, thin figure, black, completely black, with a spiked helm on it, or what seems like a spiked helm, and hanging at off its hand is a long scythe.
Got a
Hanging
hand
above
scythe?
as a threat. No, a full pole-armed scythe.
Hmm.
Not a sickle. Almost like it's watching you. Whatever is beneath the oasis it is containing something dangerous. Whatever it is may or may not be the source of my divining. But, as you said, if you can, all things must come to an end. Even the gods have their time, as we know.
True. Your own god, Damukna. She wanders this plane of existence now, yes?
As the legends say.
Tell me, Ardent Eye, have you ever run into her? In her travels, in your own?
For all that I have seen, for all divined futures, strings of time and memory, that is the one thing I have not seen. It frightens me. The more I contemplate eternity.
Just remember, even eternity has its end.
You see, he takes the heart from your hands now and places it on the altar as he lights the incense and pours the oils onto the heart. He takes the candle. It ignites and lights up your faces. If your great war to come is to come, and you will need whatever is beneath that temple, as you have seen yourself. And it will be the end of the diviners, I think. Or at least in the form we are now.
All things come and go and change. Don't worry, Ardent Eye. I'm sure you'll still have your uses.
Watch out for your comrades. They may think they know what you take them to. They have seen great things, I am sure, as I have and you have. But it is hard to understand an end, an apocalypse, devastation, or something like the more severe conflict that your foes seek. Harden their spirits for what is to come.
I'm sure I can get through to them eventually. I've tried, time and again. Haven't I, Kaze? Did I tell you the world is ending? Have I mentioned that yet?
maybe once, maybe twice. Oh, wait. No, there's a lot more than that. We know what we're getting into. At least I do. Wisvik sometimes listens. Katya, we just kinda hired.
Yes. As these lights start to go out of the offering, he would nod respectfully to you and lift himself up and begins to head away from you, back towards his seat.
One last thing, Ardent Eye.
Yes.
Have you ever spoken with her? ever communed.
Even though I have never seen her, there is a reason there is a reason I still have faith. Don't believe I have heard her voice, but she does show me things beyond what the eye I supposedly wield sees. And with her grace, Damu's grace, I have chosen to help you all. And I've chosen to put the order behind your endeavors, though it may end this order in the long run. Strange creatures, the gods. The way they speak to us will show us things. It makes you wonder what they see and what their eyes really are.
Makes you wonder how much they really like us.
And that laugh is like the first time he's not seen strange and stoic and distant in the way he looks. I have contemplated such. I hope you find what you're looking for and that what I have seen of your future is true. Good luck.
Huron simply, still seated by the offering table, bows deeply to the ardent eye, but remains where he is.
You see he goes and starts cleaning the chambers, collecting what is there. As you see other diviners doing the same. So, as the evening passes, is there anything anyone else would like to do on this night?
I wanted to go down and see how Farthiel's doing.
You would find him still sleeping, but he looks tremendously better. There are scars where the wounds were, but there's no necrosis anymore. And they are healed, and he's breathing comfortably. He's no longer has a fever. The worst seems to have passed for now.
Okay. Out of habit more than anything, when Katya goes into the dwelling, she'll just like pick up a bottle, and go and sit down next to him in the chair that she was occupying earlier, and feel enormous relief, and then realize that she's holding the bottle. And she won't put it down, but she'll just kind of hold it, but not drink from it.
Okay.
And just stay with him, and if he wakes up, she doesn't want him to be alone.
At some point in the night, he doesn't wake up. He's pretty much probably going to be sleeping straight through the night. He may wake up in the morning, but he is still recovering. His body is still working overtime. And Kala would quietly join you at some point. Wordlessly, she would just sit across from you and watch him as well.
And when she comes in, I'll do the part
She
thing.
would return it. Kieran, you had something you wanted to do.
Huron may wait a while, but he's gonna cast Ascending Demukna.
That worked.
As if the legends are true,
Legends are true. She
and
is on
she's
this
in this
plane.
plane, then it should be fine. And if she's not, it's a 5% chance it doesn't go through. So
Does
what's
it
the worst
work
that can
if they
happen?
go by a different name?
Because the spell, it's someone you're familiar with, right? Is the wording. Sending is intentionally vague, I think, on certain things.
Yeah. Let me get the exact verbiage.
Yeah, that's exactly it. To a
With
creature with
which you are familiar.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
All right, so we're
do you
upcasting
send?
to plus,
Of course you are.
and Huron
That's why I
in.
couldn't greater heal you all earlier. He's gonna save the spell slot for sending plus.
What would I have greater healed on?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
mean, I had.
upcasting.
I mean, I have 2 5th levels, so.
Okay.
It's
Well,
fine.
go ahead and let me know what you that would be.
So Kiran reaches out into the void and sends a sending to someone he's not 100% familiar with, but I think he's learned a bit from her followers. And goes, Holy Demukna, I reach out to you now in hopes you may lend us your aid. My party and I seek to challenge the Harbinger and the Pallid King, remnants of the wayward one you fought so long ago. As a cleric of Illuvania or Eladra, I hope you see in me a worthy witness to your divine presence. I ask an audience with you to learn more of what you know and to help us on our quest. Please help us, Demukna. You're our only hope. Love, Kiran XOXO.
Huron, you wouldn't get a response, but you would feel. You have, in casting Sending before, you know that you can somewhat sense that the person receives.
Mhm.
You get that same feeling, but even deeper. This is her response, essentially, is just sort of this acknowledgement of you. And you can feel that it's not just that she received the message, you can feel a sense of acknowledgement. A sense of, I'm listening, sort of. And I am there. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Huron will kind of hesitantly. He's kind of just hoping she'd show up and be like, yo, what up? I guess that's a lot to ask from a goddess. So he'll hesitate for a moment and then go, The chained gods of the Moister conflict seem to be growing stronger in presence in our realm day by day. Is this a side effect of the Wayward One's actions and the Harbinger now? If so, is there something we can do to stop this? Or what's going on, man?
You don't get a response. It's kind of the feeling, if I could best describe it, is it's like seeing the 3 little dots of a text message, but the message never comes.
What awaits us in the crypts beneath the oasis? In the lands you once wandered so long ago. I guess there were seas back then, but...
Similar to when you commune with Ilyavanya. Sometimes there's just a feeling. There's not words responded, it's just a sense. Hooked on a feeling, yeah. That song plays in your head. She only responds with memes.
Fucking
Uh,
troll. Sorry, orc.
Yeah, she's not an orc, she's a troll. There is a sense of dread. And familiarity. The best way you can articulate the feeling is she's essentially sort of saying a great danger that you know.
Is there anything you can offer us to aid us in our quest?
You feel an immediate sense of safety. And comfort. Anything else you'd like to do? Or say, I guess.
Thank you, Cobalt Wanderer. I hope our paths may meet one day, when more tactile words may be exchanged.
And it's almost as if, in that way, in movies, when there's some kind of telepathic connection or something, suddenly the sound of the hall comes back to you. The sound of footsteps and chatter.
Immediately turning to Kaze, Kieran goes, I hate the gods sometimes. And he gets up.
Did it work?
Yes, but as before, so again. More vague responses and riddles. At least the Everflame was straightforward in telling me that I was going to just suffer. I can understand that. I can cope with that.
So, how many gods is that spoke to you out of how many?
To be fair, Damukna didn't actually say anything. And since the initial prophecy back in Elysia, Ilyavanya has yet to mutter a single word to me.
Oh, so you're used to this.
Yes.
And you got spoiled by talking to the Everflame. That's what you're saying.
I guess so. Though Astraeus did tell me it was not my
Wait,
time
Astraeus
yet, so...
stalked you?
Oh, yes. When I was
Shit,
killed and
Timber's like, what the fuck?
brought back.
Oh.
Have you never spoken
No.
with... Oh. I apologize.
He's saved me a couple times, and I've seen visions of him, floating around as an owl.
Kieran also picks up the Raven Sister amulet around his necklace. Oh, and I guess I have spoken with Armag.
Me?
I don't know if I really... And I guess I've spoken with Hadric. And I've seen the Pallid King, though. He's less of a god and more of a monster.
Did he
That's my
monologue to you at all?
understanding.
Because that might be 5.
Who?
The Pallid King?
No, not quite. More of a roar. Less to me, and it was also a vision, so it was kind of...
Four. That's pretty good.
My villains don't monologue.
Well, one of them does.
One of the...
Yeah, one of them does, yeah.
And he can't shut up.
Anyway,
I think
Kieran,
he's shut up now.
maybe we should go to bed.
I still don't know who my god even is.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, we get nothing from our gods. And Kieran's like, I've talked to 4 of them.
Deal.
Commune with another like 5.
Yeah. So
Haven't smooched any yet.
Yeah.
That's really the goal. Kieran's just simping for Illyvania.
Who told you?
But you all, in your own way, find rest and sleep for the night. Gil and Rosen having gotten everything ready, having kind of received the message of we're leaving right away tomorrow. The next morning comes with freezing temperatures, but no snow because you are in a well, there's actually no, there's snow around here. There's not snow down in the actual basin. A light snow flurrying around as you go from the quarters you've been provided to the area where the carts and the horses have been gathered. You can see there are the Ardent Eye and the Ardent Hunter are there. Katya, you wake up in the chair, I presume.
Mhm.
And you can see that Farthiel is awake. Barely. He's very weak. You can see a diviner is kind of feeding him a porridge made of mostly oats.
I sit up and, but gently, like take his hand and say, "You're awake."
You see, I mean, he has still a lot of the wrappings haven't been taken off yet, even though the wounds are mostly healed. So he's kind of just see one eye looking back at you, and he cracks a very weak smile. As he says a few words, they come out very hoarse, and he's still having difficulty talking.
You don't need to say anything. We're going to fix it.
Well, who is going to watch your back?
Louis.
Yeah, there is one. Louis is there. Louis is the lazy one, though, so you see he's kind of sitting in the corner and like using like his earth elemental abilities, just sort of like playing with rocks, turning them into different things that Wiswick has essentially taught him about.
Yeah.
So he's just like molding like rocks into like one of them he molds into a big old bat monster, and then remolds it into actually, like, weirdly enough, images of your guys' past adventures. Not yours, but their past adventures.
Very cool.
But he's definitely lazy and not actually guarding anything.
Cool.
Uh,
I'll smile as he says that and just say, "Well, it looks like things have not changed much." Just kind of like nonchalantly, like trying to make light of the situation.
and you see his smile fades for a second. He's just like, know what it was? I was wandering, heading south to go to my home. In the whipping, shifting sands. Beyond, I saw a green light. A shadow. And I felt it first. Cutting pain. Something swiped across my chest. and I fell to the ground, crawling. I felt it following me. Miles. Just a few feet back. And I looked back, and I just saw the green light and shadow. But it kept following me until Ankala found me. It disappeared.
Whatever it was, I'll pull the necklace up. It won't be following you anymore.
And you see for a second he like tries to lift himself up through pain, and the diviner kind of like shoves
Yep.
it back down.
Yep.
It felt like metal. Blade had cut me. I didn't see a creature or monster. I saw the silhouette and shadow in the green light.
Did I see the painting that... I haven't seen the painting that Thard and I did, right? Okay.
No.
Alright. Shannon connected the dots, but it wouldn't. Well, then we'll just have to keep looking, won't we?
Whatever it was, it felt like pieces of me were being pulled away, like strips of flesh. Slowly feeding.
We don't have to talk about it anymore. We don't have to do this right now.
You see he's fading a little bit. And he just kind of like nods, coughs a little, and seems to almost fall asleep almost as he drifts away. Back up on the firmaments where they're repairing the carts. Those of you who start to get ready, you see Oriel kind of comes walking up to you, Kieran. Well, I must say, I've already seen so much in my time with you. A couple of days away, I hear, is this oasis. We'll finally see what you've spoken of so much.
I simply hope you're impressed, or at least understand more the gravity of the threat we face.
I think I've already seen it, but laying eyes on your goddess, or whatever part of her is there, would certainly bring weight to my words when I return.
Oriel, Kieran says, like putting a hand on his shoulder. I can't guarantee yours or theirs, Kieran says, nodding to his retainers, safety in our journey ahead. I have had multiple warnings now of a great evil, or a great threat, I should say, lurking beneath the oasis. It may have some connection to that creature we fought last night. Well, we did. I don't know where you were.
Oh, you fought a creature?
Yes, you didn't hear it or see it. Everyone came out. It was actually
Kinda-
quite magical. All the diviners.
Looks back at Gil and Rosen. We must have slept through it. I'm terribly sorry.
It's okay. As long as you're there for the other fights. We just need some allies. Gotta abuse that action economy, man.
Well, I suppose we should make way.
Indeed.
Find your kobold hunter to guide us there, and we will. Carts are ready. I'll see to them bringing the lift up so we can bring them down, and we'll be on our way. We shall meet you down there.
Fantastic. I think I know where she is. We'll go gather her now. Come on, boys, Kieran says, gathering Wiswick and Kaze. To go get Katya.
And you collect Katya. Find her exactly where I presume you thought she was. By Farthia.
Were we? I guess I can RP this. We're taking him with us, right? To the oasis. That is where the healing happens. That is where he should go.
Isn't he safer here? He's going to be in a lot of the fray. He's gravely injured. Is that a good
The
idea?
healing
I can see
happens
that.
here, Kieran says, gesturing with his staff. If I collect another one of the shards of my goddess, I'll have that much power. And if what me and the Ardent Eye spoke of last night, well, whatever powers currently curse your friend here may be weakened by our actions at the oasis.
Is Zankala still there?
Yes.
Okay, I'll look to her just confused because I was taught that the oases were the place of the greatest healing.
She'll look back at you. Do you say anything to her?
I don't understand, Huntress.
Well, what we saw last night was done with this cleric. Perhaps he is right. Their power comes from Eladra, not necessarily the waters of the oasis. The healers stay there. This is their temple. We have not gone in so long. Don't even know what healers are left. What they say is right. Essentially, they'd be bringing the power of the oasis here when they return, when you return them safely.
It'll be a few days, but
Yes, I know.
I was not finished speaking. Patience is a virtue, Cobalt Huntress. I advise you to maintain much of it. When we return, we will be that much more wise, powerful, and maybe have a few tricks up our sleeves. Your friend will be safe until then. You saw what the diviners and the Eye did to that creature. They are more than enough to protect him here.
You promise?
I will be staying here. I will protect him. Katya.
Here, if it helps. And Kieran's gonna walk over and he's just gonna cast a spell magic. Just on a random chance.
Go ahead and give me a d20 roll or a wisdom check.
Oh, that's a natural 19 for a 24.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay. Roll me a d4. Yeah.
mystery!
And,
Ooh.
what'd you get?
You roll,
Ooh.
you roll a d3 and divide it, or a d6 and divide it.
That's actually probably a better way to do it.
Last session, a 4 was the highest number was the worst outcome. Just wanted to remind you of that.
Ooh.
Actually, roll that d6 instead. Just because you got the same thing that you dispelled last time.
1.
1?
Well,
He
oh,
rolled-
Oh, wait, sorry. No, never mind. You got a 1 last time. You got a 2 this time. That's fine. That worked. There are still 2 effects on him. But by the light of the moon of Illyvania, you can see Wiswick's surgical placement on there disappears. But it doesn't. No. It's good, because it's not replaced by the original tracking. All tracking is removed, which means the area of effect tracking that was still there, the way that Wiswick essentially had stopped the specific tracking, but they could still sense if they were close by that this person was here. All magical sensing has been removed. There are still 2 things left: a life-sustaining curse and a mystery effect that you don't know what is. But the curse is weakened again.
Trying his hardest to keep a straight face. Kieran, I imagine he just plants his staff down, puts out his hand over Farnthir, and just goes scoopity-boopity-boopity-boop. Not at all like that. It's more like it's just a disc of silvery light that just almost like a UFO beam hovers over him, and he just kind of sucks it up.
Okay.
Which is only slightly better than doobity 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 doop.
Marginally better, yeah.
I will stand up from my chair, because I'm assuming I've been sitting this whole time. I will gather my spear, and Did we establish if he's taller or if we're the same height?
You're slightly taller because he's slightly hunched from his age.
Right. All right, so I'll go up to him and slightly looking down at him. Thank you. But, just so you know, the only person that's allowed to talk to me like that is her. Okay, pointing at Kala.
Learning from one source is not a good idea.
I want
Just
to hit you so bad right now.
We
You
heard
hear,
boss.
you hear from behind a lot of them saying these things. First of all, you hear Louis hitting stones together in the back. But Nkala kind of looks over your shoulder to Kieran. And the Ardent Eye, and the Ardent Hunter, and the other Cobalt Hunters who are your superiors.
All right. My point is he's not allowed to. All right. Yes, I know patience is a virtue. I've heard that a lot.
I apologize, Cobalt Huntress. Am I not the one paying you, though? Kieran says.
Katya just huffs and walks out.
As he starts, and as she does that, he stops his turn and looks back at Unkala and just gives her a little wink and goes, "I'll keep an eye on her. See if I can't
don't
straighten
need you
her
to
up."
keep an eye on me.
Thank you. She needs it.
I don't
Old is
No, I
No.
don't.
do much. I think Kieran would have waited for Katya to leave.
I know. I'm just being a jerk.
Unkala, how old is she?
I believe she is in her 70s.
Ooh. And when did she start drinking?
She did not drink this much though. Last time I knew.
When did
But
she start
her
drinking?
and Farthiel, and kind of looks over at Farthiel. I thought that they were clever in hiding the flask that they were drinking from during their training. But perhaps a bad habit that they fostered in one another early on.
It happens to the best of us. And at that, Kaze takes it.
Yeah, we're not very. I mean, we have saved the world a couple of times, but we're definitely not the best influences when it comes to
Please.
certain things.
Speak for yourself. And Kieran walks his way out, and as he does, he kind of like looks up to the ceiling and goes, "Thanks for the assist, Crescent Heart. Didn't think that was going to work."
Victoria Hospital de Oncala. We will be on our way.
She'll return the gesture. She might be a bit of an asshole, but she'll get you there safely.
Timber. No, never mind. Timber doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Kala, when we get back, you gotta play a game with me. I have a game from the Underdark. It's called Munkala. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have not. Please do not forget your rock. As you see,
Look, he's playing it right now. He's got like little stones and he's putting into the holes.
yeah. He kind of looks up with like the eyes are wide, and he goes like this, looking down. But
You're learning. That's a pretty good strategy you got there. I'm just like talking to Louis, completely ignoring her.
So, you all gather up, the golems and your carts and whatnot. You meet them down by the lift, and you start making your way out of the Sapphirine Bluffs.
Nice.
You would.
Wait,
You
long
would-
rest? Tell me we had a long rest.
Yes, you had a long rest. Yes.
Thank God.
You went to sleep.
Where were
The
you?
next
Yeah,
day.
what happened for the past hour?
They can't. They need me to say you got a long rest.
Yes. Yes.
We level
That's
up.
exactly it. We level up.
No.
All right, that's fair. I was gonna ask.
But you pass through the bluffs, knowing that the lightning salamanders are there now. You take your careful steps through there and bypass them. And you look out from the thousand waterfalls behind you. You look up as you descend the steps, and you would see the Ardent Eye watching from above at his little spot that he likes to paint in. And you pass down, back to the fields of glass, over the ravined river, over the thin land bridge. You look out to the endless wastes again. You begin making that journey. It'll take you a few days. And you press onward. Kieran, you would start to notice, and anyone watching, Katya, you would probably notice this as well. Ahead of you, you start to see a silhouetted figure. They seem to be walking away from you as you're getting closer to them. The closer you get, the more indiscernible they seem to be. If you'd like, you can give a perception check.
29.
29.
Nope.
Huron, you watch this figure, and perhaps you all slow your pace or are more careful as you get closer and closer and closer. The first day, you don't really notice. You can't really get close enough to see them. You keep your eye out, but they disappear at some point around dusk. The second day, you get a little closer to them. They're in a different place also. They're on a different route. They're almost parallel to you now as they're moving. And the third day, they seem to be behind you now. And as you're getting closer, they seem to almost disappear when you get close enough. And the fourth day, Kieran, you can see the very distinct shape of an orcish woman on the horizon. And on the 5th day, the dust seems to fade. The storm of salt and sand, the shifting sands, fade, and you see a clear horizon, endless horizon, and on that horizon, about a mile away, you see palm trees, a tall drip castle, and the clear shimmer of water, and a tabaxi on the edge of that water with a crescent-hearted staff. That's where we'll pick up next week, as Demukna has saw to there being no danger at all on your 5-day journey.
That's my goddess, y'all.
Well, who besieged her?
You are sassy tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us tonight. We will see you all very soon for other programming. We have our Jasper's Game Day event that is this week. So please join us.
Really?
Yeah, you ready? Please join us this Thursday for the first day of that event. We've got so many awesome games. It's going to be going all the way to Sunday. Stop by, donate some money, donate a few bucks, watch some really awesome people playing some really awesome games. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Tiltify link is going to go live at noon on Wednesday, so you can start donating then. We will also have alerts soon that will outline exactly what you can do to affect games with your donations. And keep an eye on socials for all those posts for when the games go live. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be no Relaxing in Paradise this Thursday because I will be DMing my Jasper's Game Day event for that night. And then the Sean and Shannon Power Hour will be at a different time on Sunday. It's going to be in the morning to kick off that day of games. So it won't be in the evening. We'll be ending at 7 o'clock that night with our last game. So come join us and have a lot of fun with us. We've got some other stuff that's happening in the future. That's the main event for now. At the end of the month, Shannon and I will be dueling Waffles and Syrup on Dragon's Duel, a D&D game show, on Saturday, July 31st at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Improv games and fun will be had. And then the Season 3 of The Scales Above from Roll for Damage will be starting up very soon. We had a table talk this last week, and the start date is pending. I do believe, though, the pending date is in August, at the beginning of August, but we will confirm that as soon as we flesh out our plans. There's some other real-life stuff that's gotten in the way a little bit of that starting, but it will be starting soon. We will now raid one of our good friends. I think we will raid our friend Josh Simons. So go and give him our love as we end tonight's session. Say goodbye, everybody, or however you'd like to wish our audience well.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Mwah. We love you.